All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Awfully Silly. And we're getting, as you can tell with my hat, a little festive tonight. Yes, it's the Silly Season's Greetings episode. I wanted to get this one on the schedule because I don't think I will have another episode before Christmas. So I definitely wanted to get my all-time fave Christmas games onto the schedule. I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season thus far. Before we get started jumping into our holiday type games here this evening, just want to go over a few announcements first. Namely, AGDQ 2023's online prize submissions are now open from now till December 30th. So you can go on over to gamesdonequick.com for some more information if you would like to submit some prizes to be won during the marathon. Additionally, some more marathon news. The schedule for Frost Fatales 2023 will be released very soon on December 21st. You can view the submissions at submissions.framefatales.com and let us know what you are hoping to see on the schedule. That's sure to be a very exciting event. They usually are, so I can't wait for it. And then finally, if you want to follow up on what Games Done Quick is up to, use exclamation point links in the Twitch chat for all things GDQ. We really appreciate it. But as I mentioned, I was very excited to throw together a Christmas episode. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. And I got 3 games that I think really capture not only the essence and feeling of Christmas and that giant Christmas spirit, but of course the essence of games that are questionable in nature. And we are starting off with the banger, of course. We're going to be going right into Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza, and it's going to be run by my friend PMC Trilogy. Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Conception. Yeah, so just real quick, this game is Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. This is a 2002 PC first-person shooter. This is not Die Hard Vendetta. This is not Die Hard Trilogy. This is not any other Die Hard game. This is a PC exclusive in 2002. Left Tech. We'll go ahead and get into it. The timer will start when I click on the difficulty selection here. You have Die Hard, Die Harder, and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Of course, we're going to be playing on Die Hard because we're playing Die Hard. So
that's the reason.
That's just how we do this game. Don't worry, there's already a good chance I'll die in this game. Thankfully, this game has many small, short levels and an auto saving. And we'll get into it. There's a major issue with this game that kind of makes it go by pretty quickly. We expect to finish the plot of the game. The plot of this game follows the movie. And so, whereas the movie takes, 90 minutes, we should be done in less than half an hour because John McClane has a new trick. So I'm going to do a count off here. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Ho, ho. It's the start of the movie. John McClane flies in. He is, of course, visiting his wife's holiday party in the office park. Argyle's driving him in. And we're supposed to look up where her office party is, like what floor it's on. But here's the thing about John McClane is that he can phase through doors. And so we phase through the elevator, and the elevator knows which way to go.
Thank God for those.
Yeah.
Smart elevators.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. The doors in this game, they're all sabotaged. If we wedge ourselves into the side of a door frame and then sprint into the door frame, we will pop through the door. And so this is really useful because obviously we can pop through locked doors. It's also useful because sometimes doors have like certain triggers attached to them. Like it'll start a cutscene if we open a door. And so that will allow us to skip doing that. So that's pretty convenient. Yes, also this game does have diagonal running. So of course, whenever I'm not shooting forward, I will be running at a diagonal angle. Oop. Right now, I need to babysit this axe for a bit because the axe, guns can't destroy wooden boards, whereas the axe can. And so we're going to end up carrying this axe with us for a little bit. It also happens to be a one-hit kill to a bunch of guys who really do not know what's coming to them. And it allows us to build up some ammo. So yeah, so here you go. This is what I needed the axe for. Bye-bye axe. We now have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
The axe, it's like you're tapping them with the side of the axe.
It really is.
It's not even like you're hitting them.
It's very good. All right, this man is the boss of the level. We're going to try and just run him down. There's a cutscene you can activate to kill him, but we're just going to go ahead and take the opportunity here. I'm also going to grab some safety health as well. So all the health is going to be in these little boxes, and the pixels in this game are very like particular. Like whenever I interact with something, it needs to be like right on the thing. I can't. It can't be just like in the general area. It has to be like exactly on it.
Such precision.
All right, I saw a chat. Someone in chat asked one of my favorite questions about this game, which is what's the deal with the 3 health bars? Which is a fantastic question. Thank you for setting that up for me. So the deal with the question, okay, so the first one is normal health. Like that's the heart. That's like real health. What? Oh. All right, folks. That's never happened before. There should be enemies. There should be enemies here. Where did the enemies go? Okay. Anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm so taken aback by that.
You said the thing.
I said the thing. He did the thing. Okay. The lungs are your stamina. So like I'm actually throughout this whole run constantly pulsing shift. So that way I do not run out of stamina. But like if you were just holding down shift, it would cause you to, you would actually consume that bar. You're not going to see that bar generally be consumed. There's a different version of this level that has a door where I just clip through that fence. That's why there is a door clip there, even though there doesn't seem to be a door. Don't worry about it.
I'm not.
Also, the third meter, the brain meter, apparently, allegedly, that has something to do with how enemy AI reacts to you. I think that's an urban legend. I think people are just pulling my leg. I don't really know what it does. But yeah, that's the story of the 3 meters. 2 of them are real, and one of them, I don't know, might hurt you. I really don't know.
Jeez, this game could have been ahead of its time in addressing mental health in these first-person shooters, but nope. We have no idea what that means.
No idea. Yeah.
Darn.
Funny story. So we got a moment here where I have to sit still and wait for a thing to happen. This game was made by Piranha Games. Piranha Games is still around. They're the studio that makes MechWarrior Online and MechWarrior 5. So this was their first game. A little bit of weird gaming history there. Once this door moves, I can actually open it. If you open this before that door moves, you just die. You just instantly die. So I have to kill everyone up here in order to do the bit from the movie where you throw the corpse out the window to get the cops' attention. So this game really sticks to the plot of the movie, and we have to recreate a lot of the famous bits. So here we are. We got the fight on the table. This man dramatically dies, and then we can throw him out. In terms of things I have to skip in this game, obviously there's cutscenes. There are also sort of these walkie-talkie conversations that I'll be skipping a lot. A thing that you're going to see me do is I can jump while pulling out my walkie-talkie. So I'm jumping just before I would pull out the walkie-talkie. Like that's a scripted thing. I can't control that. And then I use that moment to I obviously still traveling forward in the air. So I can kind of maintain some forward momentum even while doing the skip for canceling the walkie-talkie. A lot of these levels, we're just going to clip through one door, and that's kind of like, good night level, bye. Like, that was a whole level we just skipped right there. All right, so I just activated a glitch called Short John. Short John is when we crouch into a space that's shorter than we are, and then walk out from it. Now I am, like, permanently, I'm actually standing, but I'm lower to the ground, and I also move faster. So Short John is very useful.
Wow, so it actually like shrinks your hitbox a little, or no?
Yes. Yeah. So I am actually smaller. There's gonna be a few glitches that where we just like distort our physical properties, and we use that. In this case, we're using to go faster. There'll be another one later involving toilet paper that'll be really mysterious.
That's an out of context quote if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. No, it's a real one. All right, we can actually get killed by the car here if you stand in front of it, so we don't do that. But yeah, this is just an escort sequence. Unfortunately, we can clip through to the end of this level, but it doesn't work if we don't have Argyle with us, so he kind of is necessary. All right, right here we can put ourselves here, and we'll get a little forward push by the car. Just a gentle tap from
a love tap from the bumper.
From the bumper. All right. Important life lesson here. I hope this doesn't actually become too real for anyone, but in this game, at least, you can just kind of look up, and it'll prevent flashbangs from working on you. So we just run past these guys who are trying to flashbang us. And then up here, there is an angry man with a forklift. We just shoot him a bit until we think he's dead. Unfortunately, he can't die until he moves these blue barrels for us. So now he dies. Thanks, brother. He was not forklift certified. So the guys who are shooting at me, if I killed them, then more guys would spawn and they would open this locked door for me. But locked doors are not an obstacle, so we just pop through it again. I mentioned earlier that the door clipping is useful for obviously clipping through locked doors. It's also useful for doors that have cutscenes attached to them, like that one. These guys would talk, they would make fun of American football, but I skipped the cutscene and now they can't say anything about American football, which is obviously a superior sport to soccer. Thanks, Germans.
It's too topical.
It's too topical
at the moment.
What time of year is it? What's going on? Are there any big events happening? Is this we're in America?
There's only Christmas. That's all
only Christmas. That's the only event that's happening. I don't know any other events. All right. Once again, normally we would find a door code that would help us unlock this door, but we already know the secret to unlocking the door. It's clipping through it. A thing that kind of affects how easy or hard it is to clip through doors is the size of the door frame. That door frame was huge, so it's really easy to clip through. There are ones that are more difficult. But clipping through that door frame allowed us to avoid a sequence of a bunch of enemies and a guy who spawns behind something, obviously looking up there for the flashbang. Right here, I'm scraping against this wall in order to activate a spawn from these two guys. Normally, they would want you to walk down a hallway behind me to activate this, but it happens to activate by being close to that wall, so easy peasy. All right, this is the sewer level, which is the level I wish were shorter, but instead we're going to do a bunch of nonsense clips. Clipping through that door. I actually pull out the lighter just so I don't hit the wall in that. There's really no other reason. It's just for my benefit.
I was going to say, using a lighter in a sewer is a bold move, I think.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
Especially in New York. You never know what's down there.
Yeah.
Or wherever this is supposed to take
place. We're in LA.
Right?
I'm pretty sure. Is the first Die Hard in LA? I hope it's in LA.
I have no idea.
I cannot shoot these cops. If I shoot the cops, I game over. They can shoot me. I'm not supposed to be here. Normally, other cops in this game have AI where if you flash your badge at them, they don't shoot you. But again, they don't have that scripting active because I'm not supposed to be here. All right. Anyway, that was almost the way to a slippery slope. So let's just walk up here. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Can't make slope jokes if I'm not walking up the slope. In order for that to work, you have to be at like the top of your stamina. If you have like yellow stamina, it will not function. All right, I think we got confirmation. It is LA.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Confirmed LA.
Confirm. Yeah, I should note, this game almost had a dramatic upheaval yesterday. Someone discovered, WeKids discovered that you can actually do a flying off of a ladder in this game, wherever there's a ladder. Unfortunately, the game's already so tightly routed that we haven't found anywhere to use it to make the game faster. So
wow.
Yeah.
You can literally fly and it might not help.
Yeah, and flying is faster than walking, but it's like still not useful. Or I mean, at least not yet. So sad times. Wow. It just involves like quick save, quick loading off of a ladder, and it like just puts you in like permanent ladder state. And then like the way flying works is that you hold down space, so it's like you're constantly jumping off the ladder. It's really good, really good.
That's what peak performance looks like.
It is. Yeah, we're still working on it. Obviously, it was yesterday, so you know, it could be things could change yet.
Next year's Christmas special, Die Hard, will be 15 minutes. You watch.
Yeah.
Unit 3, get your asses behind the perimeter.
This is mostly a lot of running and gunning here. We have to deal with a boss enemy. Oh, all right, bye. Usually that guy stands there and tries to flashbang you, but I just said, hey, see you later. Some of these doors are unlocked, but one of them I clipped through to avoid a group of enemies spawning. And then the other one was locked, but like going through the intended path spawns enemies, and then you have to fight them. It's just disrespectful. I should note that in terms of this game's voice cast, that is Reginald Vell Johnson. That is the actual actor of the cop from the film, but everyone else is not the real.
They didn't get Bruce back for this one?
No. All right, quick kill on that guy. Usually he runs over to a gas canister and then you can shoot the gas canister to kill him, but if we headshot him with the bullpup, it takes care of him faster. I like this muzzle flash is really good. It just covers up the entire middle of the screen. Just incredible.
Who needs to see what you're shooting at?
Absolutely no one. All right, this level is supposed to be an escort mission where that man who was crouching in terror in the corner was going to help us out. But guess what? We can clip through doors. So the door that he's going to unlock for us is this one right here, which, John McClane, don't need no door unlocking. All right, this is another escort mission that we're gonna mostly skip. Once again, door's locked. Clip through it. So when we open this door, it's gonna summon someone. So just look, hanging out by the elevators, waiting for our elevator, thinking about where we want to go, and then out of nowhere, it's just this man.
Well, where did he go?
So he probably needs our protection. So we'll kill some guys. These guys, when they're outside, they're all invincible and they deal 1 million damage. So we do have to wait for them to come in. He's gonna try to open an elevator door for us.
There he goes.
But yeah, they're not doing too well here. We kill 2 more guys, and then we'll be able to jump past him into the elevator shaft. Hopefully I can save him.
I got it.
All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get past him, and we're going to crouch through the elevator. Uh-oh. No! All right, this is unusual. Well, I think he's dead. Am I stuck here?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, rip that guy. What? Sir. I think... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, we might just be... Yeah, let's go ahead and just load the autosave there. Regrettable. We'll have to do that whole bit again. Yeah, that also has not happened before. We got 2 now, 2 things. I don't know what happened there.
Wow.
Just
like you knew we were going to be on the GDQ channel.
I know, it's Christmas. They said
Christmas miracle.
We got to give him multiple things that he's never seen before. All right, well, fine. I'll quick save now, game. If you want. Yep, there he goes again. Everyone just wanted to see that boy again.
Yeah, come on, yellow shirt.
So Piranha Games is in Vancouver, so it's a bunch of Vancouver memes on the walls, even though this game is set in LA. Or the movie, I should say.
The Christmas classic.
Yeah, Christmas in Vancouver. Also, I hope everyone's appreciated the size of the reticle and whatever's going. So, because I'm aiming down the scope and then leaning, which is totally making normal things happen. All right, let's have this work this time. All right, go right for the corner. There we go. All right. So now, if you rapidly press crouch on a ladder, you will climb down the ladder faster. Good tech. All right, there we go. Anyway, problem solved.
There we are.
Once again, this level is called In the Vents, but we clip through a door and we spend no time in the vents. Just that easy. A lot of the levels are designed so that there's like a locked door that separates the entrance and the exit. And so if we know what we're doing, we can just kind of get through things. Activated Short John once again. And now we're going to do the bit with the bomb in the elevator shaft.
Except 4 assholes coming in the rear.
Regular cutscene, walkie-talkie. And now we're going to press 2 things to make the elevator open. John's going to say some bad words. Thanks, John. And then...
A family production.
Ooh, I actually got through. Okay. If we managed to clip through this before... Oh, I wasn't good enough, though. So if you clip through that door before the cutscene plays and then back away from it... Oh, I messed that up. All right. I didn't... So, okay. So there were multiple things going on here. All right. See you later, guys. There's a different way to do this, Skip. So when those cops come through the door, you can actually mash your walkie-talkie button and get out of the conversation that you're in. Alternatively, if you don't get that right away, you can do what I did, which is just shoot, and then they let you go. Well, I mean, they let you go, but they also shoot at you. So there's some risk to that, but what's life without risk? But that previous level, if I'd gotten through the door clip and backed away from the door, I would have been able to prevent those spawns from happening. Oh,
Ooh.
I thought he was dead. The enemies in this game have a lot of animations where I just think they're dead. And let me tell you, I do this to myself regularly. All right. Now hopefully with less embarrassment. We were almost at the end of there. It was like that was like the last guy too.
Just one more time. Just got to get that content.
Yeah, see? There it's fine. Anyway, this is Bill Clay, who's totally not Hans Gruber. Don't worry about it.
Oh no. Are you saying we got no Hans Gruber sightings in this game?
Well, so we actually know he's Hans Gruber. So instead of recreating the famous scene in the movie where he says shoot the glass, we're actually just going to clip through this door and walk away. Which is like, really, really a good time. I recommend it for anyone interested. Like,
next time you watch the movie, do that too.
Yeah, next time you watch the movie, be like, hey, we already know that's the bad guy. You should just walk away. But it turns out our feet are bloody anyway. So mysteriously, suddenly, our feet are bloody at the beginning of this level.
All that short John walking.
Yeah, all that short Johning just kind of caught up with us. So this unfortunately is like the one level that has a door that we can't clip through. It's very upsetting. Ordinarily, we would be able to clip through the door, but there's no door frame. The door is kind of weird, so we can't really, or at least we have not figured out a way yet. So we actually have to walk through the level. So take a nice diagonal walk around to this bathroom that has some bandages.
All right.
Those character models. Yum.
Oh, yeah.
Yum, yum.
This game has like a weird development history too, where I think it started out as like a gold source game or something. And then like Fox Interactive was like, no, you have to use this because we have this license laying around. Anyway, this is a toilet. We're going to stand on it. There you go. Wait, come on. Standing on the toilet is the hardest part of this. All right, stand on the toilet, crouch in the toilet. So now the toilet paper has changed our physical properties. And you're wondering like, PMC, what are you doing? We're gonna go into this corner, crouch, and then we're gonna think about the exit really hard, and then we're there.
Wow. Yeah.
So this is very.
Can't say I've ever had a transcending bathroom experience like that one.
You're really on a roll there with that paper.
Oh no!
No! That's what I call a party wipe. All right.
Oh.
This game is so backwards that instead of running and jumping, you actually want to jump and run to get on top of things. So there I hit jump and then I ran in the air. That makes you go, you get a much farther distance than you do with running and jumping. You want to jump and run. But at this point, we're doing some pretty standard stuff. We're just going down this hallway. We got to kill some dudes. We have a door that's kind of a source of annoyance. There's a few ways to do this section up here. When I go out this door at the bottom of the stairwell, there's a door to my right that I need to be open. It is like technically possible to clip through it. It's very difficult. You can also change your physical properties to make it easier to clip through. I just like to clip through that door and open that door because that will just cause the door to unlock. Like someone will just open the door. And I consider that to be the most consistent, but there's a bunch of different ways to do it. There are some blue barrels where if you rub up against them, like you rub up against the toilet paper, it changes how well you like clip through things. So sometimes you just want to do that. This is a little auto scroller and we can just put ourselves in the middle of the elevator and it prevents the enemies from shooting us. So I hope everyone's having a beautiful evening. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Yeah. All right, chat. I asked this question pre the stream, but I'll open it up to everybody as well. Despite it being on the Christmas episode of Awfully Silly, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes or no? Be civil in the chat. But I want to hear some people's opinions because I have thoughts.
I mean, I feel pretty safely that yes, it is.
Yes. Yep. Most people feel that way that I have talked to as well.
I mean, I don't need to be a stinker about it, but like, yeah, it's taking place at Christmas. It's at an office party, like,
All right, I did see a couple no's, but it is mostly yeses. There it is, getting obliterated. Yeah. It's not even a question. A few people. I saw a few no's. Now, I will say my reasoning behind me saying no is that I feel that Christmas movies, the subject of the movie is about Christmas, not necessarily just the time of year that it is set at. But to each their own. Now we're back in the action.
Yeah, we got to go down some hallways. We're gonna fight a German man. I think his name is Carl. It's the one that's really upset that we killed his brother, I think. So we're going to go ahead and take care of him. Damn. And yeah. Oh, and he's gone. So we do need to kill the remaining enemies in here to get rid of this level. So I'm going to go ahead and snipe them. One of them will try to flashbang me. And good luck with that. All right, we're getting close to some. Now we're doing the last rooftop scene from the film. I could have clipped through this door to skip this cutscene. It kind of depends on what you're feeling comfortable with. If your clips are feeling good, you'll save a bit of time doing that. More importantly, though, we can clip through that fence just and fall over. Eliminates us having to walk all the way around the roof, grab the fire hose, jump off the roof, enjoy the beautiful skybox, watch the roof explode. And there we go. Now we recreated the famous action movie scene. We can use the gun to knock ourselves backwards and then hopefully get into the windowsill. Now we got to hunt down Hans Gruber. As usual, we are able to clip through and go straight to the end of the level. This is pretty much just a run and gun here. A few notes here. We're going to have another door that is not actually locked, but I'm going to go ahead and clip through it anyway. I'm probably going to... No, I might die here. But clipping through that door prevents an enemy from spawning who has like super accuracy and deals a ton of damage, and he's just no good for anyone. Wow, I actually lived through all that. Maybe I do play this game. All right. And now we're on the final level here. We're going to finally take care of Hans Gruber. This is going to involve the really, really silly final boss sequence, so I apologize in advance for this final boss. It is a real experience. I'm going to try and do a thing here where I take care of the first phase of the boss before I get hit by enemies. Oh, no, that probably killed her. Yep, that killed her. All right. So we have to shoot Hans in the head 8 times. Oh. All right, cool. Oh, that man did it again. Oh, no, you can't just walk through that shelf, my dude. That is disrespectful. All right.
To the shelf.
Yeah, no respect for the shelf. I had never seen that before until like 2 days ago. Hence my annoyance with it. All right. So there's a few animations that he can do. Ideally, we just get the tilt animation, which is kind of the easiest, and he'll do a bunch of them in a row. We have to hit him twice before he moves on to the next area. We're going to do this 4 times. So this is the 3rd phase now. There we go. Amazingly, while holding someone, he just sort of bops that shelf and it just flies away. But yeah, we're approaching the end of things here. This is Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. It's a 2002 first-person shooter. Unfortunately, it is not available anywhere in digital distribution. So you're gonna have to make your own decisions about how to play this game. But I do think it's like a pretty solid adaptation for a licensed tie-in first-person shooter. It is a Lith Tech game, so if you like Lith Tech, I can definitely say play this. And yeah, it's a good time. All right, so once the cutscene starts here is when the final bit will be. Oh, that was probably a shot to her dome. Yeah, all right. That one animation, that animation, I really, maybe I'm just, yeah, see that? I don't know. Some of these are kind of sus. Come on, Hans, help me out here. There we go. There we go. And time. Woo! There we go.
It looks just like Alan Rickman.
Just like Alan Rickman. And then we get a very quiet Ode to Joy playing in the background while Reginald Vell Johnson, compliments Holly on her husband, John. And that was Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. So, Merry Christmas. Christmas is saved.
Yes, finally. Somebody had to do it, and I'm glad it was you, PM. Thanks for saving Christmas.
Glad I could help. Glad I could do that.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to plug or shout out? Anything before we head out? I know you might have an appearance on some charity marathon towards the beginning of January that you might be wanting to discuss.
Yeah. So, folks, if you want to see more of me, I will actually be doing specifically this game again for another Christmas show. So the Christmas will keep on going. I will also be running Armored Core Project Phantasma in AGDQ 2023. So if you're like me and you're excited about Armored Core, which who isn't right now, look forward to that. I'll be practicing practicing this game, and I'll be practicing Armored Core, and doing other stuff. I'll be playing Parasite Eve, a Christmas game, all coming up. So if any of that's interesting you, check me out. And of course, otherwise, stay tuned here. There's some more Christmas games coming up.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, PMC. Always a pleasure. Now that's a 2-time appearance on the Awfully Silly rotation. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. For everyone else out there, don't worry. We have 2 more excellent quote unquote Christmas games for you. So please feel free to stick by. But we are going to take a small little break here. So feel free to, save a tower or whatever it is you need to do on that break. And we'll see you here in a few moments.
Whoa. This one's with me.
All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. Just before we get started with our next of the Silly Season Greetings games, just wanted to go over a few announcements, know what is happening in the world of GDQ. First, Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick, both with Hotfix and with the AGDQ 2023 costs. So please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily GDQ content. Additionally, if you happen to be watching on YouTube sometime in the future, please feel free to press the like button on the video and subscribe to our channel. And you can also go on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content. That's going to start weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And finally, do not forget as well that we have additional Hotfix shows that are going to be happening throughout the week. For example, right after this show tonight, we have an episode of That's Never Happened Before, which is a show that features glitches and explanations on how to do tricks in various speed games. On Mondays, we also have Aimbot, which is another, that is on Tuesdays. And Aimbot is a show that features FPS or shooter-based speedruns. And of course, we typically also have RNG, or Random Number Generation, a show that features randomizers and randomizer-adjacent content. So feel free to check out all of the various hotfix content that we have going on. But without further ado, I think it's time to get into our second game of our Silly Seasons Greetings episode, and that is going to be The Grinch by none other than Sayans. Sayans, go ahead and take it away.
Oh, all right. Oh, sweet. Hello, everyone. My name's Sayans. I've been speedrunning since about late 2013. I'm a bit of a variety speedrunner, so start with Kingdom Hearts. I've ran Simpsons Hit and Run, Dragon Ball, and now weird games like The Grinch and Chicken Run. I've been a long time fan of this film, the 2000s Grinch film, as a child, and I remember I was just curious if there was a video game for it, and I looked on SRC. I discovered Church's speedrun of the game, and then got hooked ever since. Today we're going to be running Grinch 100%. Let me know when I need to start the run at some point. We're going to be running Grinch 100% on PC. It's essentially a collectathon where we need to collect every single item in the game, all the gifts, do all the missions, collect all the blueprints. The only thing we don't need to worry with is the heart pieces, which are just essentially upgrades for the character. This is the PC port as well, so it's no lag. It's pretty much loadless load screens, essentially. So it's a lot more fun, and it's a lot less buggy too. I'll let Church introduce himself as well before I start.
Hi, I'm Church. I also run this game. I don't do 100%. I'm only an 80% speedrunner, but I've been running this game for like 8 years now. That's enough about me. Do you want me to count you down?
Yes, wait. When I start the time, it's SDA timing, so it's as soon as I gain a movement to Grinch. So as soon as I start the game and then I skip the cutscene, I'll start the cutscene now, but once I skip it, essentially just start the timer there, and then I'll let you know when the timer ends. Alright, so I guess we'll get started. 3, 2, 1, go.
Look.
Thank you. Just quickly to the people watching, I apologize if I sound a bit soft or quiet. It's quite early in the morning, and my partner is asleep in the next room.
Yes. Shout out. Thank you for doing this, by the way, because you are all the way in Australia. Massive time zone difference, so thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
That's all right.
So right off the bat here, we're kind of just in the tutorial area where it's teaching all the mechanics. So the first thing it taught us to do was how to pancake, which is just double jumping. It lets you break things. It teaches us that we have a companion, Max, from the movie. I guess story too. Before I continue, just remember this is the movie tie-in. That'll play in a little bit, maybe. So we have Max. He can go through holes. He can also break some of the smaller presents. We have our bad breath because the Grinch has terrible bad breath, and it will let us, I don't remember what the term is in the game, probably scare the Who's away, but it'll get rid of enemies. Once we're done with the tutorial section...
I've got the book skip, by the way. Feel free to explain that.
The book skip, are you referring to just not having to load up the book at all?
It's like a frame-perfect input, essentially. If I can press a certain input combination, I can skip it animating the book opening.
I actually didn't know you could do that, to be honest, so I'm learning new things.
It's a small optimization, but it's very hard. It's a lot easier on PC, though. I can do it in about every level. The hardest is probably Who Lake.
Who Lake, yeah. So if it's frame perfect, Who Lake was probably going to be the hardest because Who Lake has like no frames on the book. So that makes sense. We do have like a little hub world, which was the Grinch cave, but we're in the first level, which is Whoville. So because we are in 100%, we're going to have to visit a lot of the areas multiple times because we have to get other gadgets and stuff. In each level, there are 6 missions we have to complete. Technically 7 if you include breaking all the presents. So in this level, there are 6 missions. One of them is smashing snowmen, like you can see Sam's doing right now. Another is painting all of the mayor's posters. And the third one that we're going to be able to do on this trip is going to be shuffling the mail, just like in the movie. The other missions that we'll have to do a little bit later, we're going to have to modify the mayor's statue, we're going to have to advance the countdown to Xmas clock, and we're going to do launch eggs into houses, which I skipped over somehow. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, you go. Yeah, I was gonna say I just did a trick there when entering that area. I forget the name of the area. Like we essentially do a specific stylized set of movement to then cycle the guard to not be able to shoot us in time before entering the room.
So while Sans is doing, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's one more trick I'm doing here where essentially I jump on top of the kid's head so now I can platform up to a ledge and skip jumping across the poles.
So
sorry, there's a few tricks right up front I completely forgot about.
Yeah, that's all good. So that trick, the jumping on the kid's head, that was actually found not by any of the Grinch speedrunners. In, 2015 maybe, I offered the Grinch as a game to mystery tournament, and like 7 people played the Grinch, and 3 of them had to figure out how to do that jump because they could not swing off of the pole and land on that ledge. So 3 people independently had to figure out, oh, you can jump on this kid's head. That's not supposed to be how I'm supposed to do it, right? The camera angles in this game are really bad sometimes. The way I like to describe it is the camera angle makes things exist or not exist. So there are certain areas, like with that jump that Sans skipped, where if your camera angle's not in the right position, the ledge has extra pixels and you just slap the ledge instead of actually jumping onto it. We've done a lot.
I'm going to be doing the
collection.
post office here. I was going to say there's a lot of different cycles with the laser lights. If I do everything optimally, I can do a really specific set of movement that could skip an extra cycle on top, but it's very risky. But it's coming up shortly.
Go, Max!
Sorry, you can go.
Yeah. Basically, there are security cameras that are in the area, and they move, and we have to send Max in through these tunnels to step on the buttons to deactivate the security camera for like 10 seconds, and then we can get into the room.
Go, Max!
So early on in the speedruns, we actually didn't used to use this tunnel. We used to... So all of the tunnels are connected, and that one is just like in the middle of all of them, and we didn't use to send Max in there, but it is just faster, we figured out eventually.
Oh, got it.
Go ahead.
No, I got the cycle. That was scary.
It is a really tight window to get that, so good job.
Go, Max!
So the one interesting thing, if you were like a... Actually, I guess it's not possible on PC, it would be a console only, but if you were like a god gamer on console, you can control Max without switching to Max, and you can, in theory, send Max into those tunnels and have him come out into the rooms you need him to come in. You just have no vision, so you're operating entirely blind the entire time. Is possible, though. So with that, all of the mail is shuffled, and now it's just cleaning up the last little bits of presents and getting the blueprints.
Okay, I did the route correctly. Off to a good start.
There are...
Sorry.
Yep, no, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I was just saying I did the route correctly. I'm surprised at myself.
Yeah. I mean, remembering all of the presents is like, that is a feat to behold, so. So after we complete 3 objectives in each level, we unlock the next level. So now we've completed all 3 objectives. We can get out of Whoville for now and go into Who Forest. We did collect enough blueprints to make our first gadget, which is going to be the rotten egg launcher, which is, I would say, the main gadget we're going to be using for the rest of the run. There are a few others. If I remember correctly, there's only one we don't use or I guess Sans doesn't use in the 100% run, and that's the binoculars.
No, you use them. Use every single gadget in this category. You'll see later on in the run, though, how I use the binoculars. It's more or less for Hoodum, too.
It's coming down.
So in Who Forest, we have, again, 6 new objectives. The ones we're going to be completing right now are going to be making the Xmas trees droop, sabotaging the snow cannon with glue, and putting beehives in cabins. I guess technically some of that's not on this visit, but it's we come back twice before we go anywhere else. The other 3 objectives are going to be sliding the mayor's skis, replacing the candles on the cake with fireworks, and squashing all of them.
There's the trick here, climbing up the ice wall.
Yep.
Feel free to explain that if you want.
Yeah. So, every time... so basically there is animation canceling. So you can animation cancel the double jump by zooming in with your gadget, which is just like going to the first person mode. So normally that's used to just make yourself stand up faster. But when you're on that ice slope, because you can stand up instantly, as long as you are inputting your jump basically right away, you can chain double jumps up there and you just get up really fast. Otherwise, you would slide down. It just saves a little bit of time walking. You don't have to shoot those presents, but going to those branches would take a lot of time. Sans is just shooting them because it's faster. I guess we also didn't really talk about how the rotten egg spawns work. They're random, but they can spawn in with either 1, 3, or 5. 5 is the maximum you can get from a plant. If they spawn in with 5, obviously that's great. If they spawn in with 1 or 3, over time they will gain 1. Like 1 will become 2, will become 3. But you can also like leave max on a plant, and as long as you're within range for it to spawn, then it will, spawn right under him and he'll collect it.
Gotcha.
So we've got these like moose thing here on the left, which Sans just kind of avoided, which are guarding the beehives. So we need to like bad breath them, get them out of the way. They also have presents. Getting rid of the present will stop them from spawning. And you'll see Sans tried to do the fast strat. It's really hard to do. But if you time it correctly, you can like double jump and hit the present at the arc of it coming out, and then you just crush it. This was also a very difficult trick that you got, so I'm impressed you got it that quick. Basically, again, it's all camera angles. Normally, you're supposed to have the next gadget we have to get up there, but if you angle the camera in a very specific way, the roof just has an extra little ledge you can jump on, and you can just jump right off of. And then right at the end, we just do a death warp back to the beginning because it's faster. So these little blueprint sections, they're basically just not sliding tile because you can move them, but they're just rotating puzzle pieces. The pieces are always going to be the same on the map. So like, I don't know exactly where they are out of memory, but like the bottom left will always spawn in the same place. So as long as you,
it's essentially it's the order of which you actually collect the blueprints. So it's essentially just an order of how you collect it. So if you decide to change your route, the positioning will be different. The only thing that's random is the rotation.
That, yeah. You said it way better than I was going to, so. So the second gadget we got is this rocket spring. It will allow us to get up to higher places, which technically we should have had for a few of the houses we've already done, but, you know, speedrunners go fast. This is also kind of like we're in the early section where there's not as much rotten egg drops as we'd like to have because especially in this area you use a lot and there's not really been a lot of like big spawns available. A little later on there's going to be an area that just gives you a bunch of them because it is a difficult area casually. So they're trying to avoid you getting stuck in a position, but because we do it a speedrun way instead of the intended way, we just bank up all of the eggs. So after this level, it's not going to be a problem. But right now, it's very much like, oh, how many do I have? I need to make sure I have them all.
It's very much a problem right now, that's for sure. But this run's okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's very difficult trying to get through the beginning part with good eggs.
It's especially rough in this one because all of the spawns are pretty far away from each other, so if you run out, you're pretty much just guaranteed to get like 1 drops as you send max across the level.
I've never missed that bad breath before.
I mean, technically I haven't either, but I've never tried to bad breath him because I don't run hundo.
Oh yeah, true.
I've considered picking it up as well as all the gadgets, but it's just time.
In my opinion, it's the best category in the game, and I am very much not a hundo runner. I don't like hundo categories usually, but this game's kind of the exception.
So I guess I mentioned all gadgets, so I'll get into it. There are 3 categories. There's any percent, which is just beat the game, obviously. You do 3 missions in each level. You get to skip one of the sleigh parts at the end. You skip a bunch of gadgets because they're not important. There's all gadgets, which is similar to any percent, except you just have to collect all the gadgets and build them. Excuse me. And then 100%, which Sans has already explained and is happening right now. There are a few... There's actually a decent amount of skips that you could do in any percent. And that you do, that you just can't do in this. And then there's like one, I guess we could have talked about it. I don't know that it's actually, it might be console only, is going right into the mailroom console viable?
It's console only.
Yeah, it is console viable.
You can do the kid inside yourself trick, but it's slower on PC as well. It's so hard to come up with a trick name that doesn't sound weird for that. You know the one?
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, it's a kid literally goes inside your model, and it kind of works like an outfit to get into the room. It's so weird to explain that one.
Yeah, it might be a little bit easier to explain once we get back to Whoville, so if we remember when we get there, we'll try to explain it. Sans has to go into all of these rooms, pick up blueprints, stuff like that. You may have noticed... nope, because we haven't gone into it. It's going to be this one. Sans is going to leave a present that's up a little bit because we do have to come back, so we're just going to leave it. Also, this house has like all of the blueprints for some reason.
Apologies for my menus being a little slow. I'm just like, I've been awake for like an hour, so my brain's not working properly.
I was gonna say,
it's going good.
If I've been up for an hour, I'm still not awake. So,
Yeah, that is impressive.
so right here, in any present, we actually wouldn't even take this menu. We would go straight into Who Dump because this gadget is. There is a huge skip that you can do, which probably saves.
We still do it in this category.
Oh, you actually do the skip in this one?
Well, yeah, you still do you don't use the slime shooter in this level. It's just for later levels.
Oh, I guess we'll show it then.
It's because we're going to be collecting blueprints for another gadget, so we don't want to triple stack gadgets making. It's not as efficient.
No, that makes sense.
Well, I don't think we do anyways. I don't believe we use slime shooter here. Oh, I fucked it. I bloody messed up. Alright, there we go.
So, this level introduces additional ammo. Well, I guess special ammo. So we have the nitro eggs here. You can have 5 nitro eggs at a time. They spawn 1 at a time, so you have to like cycle them off of camera in order to get them to respawn. And they're used to break like all of the robots. So we've got robots on the ground, which are actually what we have to break for one of our missions. We have the cycling ones, which are just there to annoy us.
Another one.
The important thing about the special ammo is they don't go through screen transitions, so if you like load into another area, you will lose all of them. For the missions in this area, we have stealing food from the birds. We've got feeding the computer with robot parts. We have to infest the mayor's house with rats. We have to conduct the stinky gas to Hubriss's shack. We have to shave the dump guardian and short-circuit the power plant. In this rotation, it's going to be stealing the bird food. It's going to be you should actually. It's like most of them, isn't it? Because you do infest the mayor's house in this cycle.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be rats, shaving the dump guardian, not short-circuit power plant, conducting the stinky gas, and stealing food from the birds.
I can't even begin to explain how difficult it is to aim and shoot things in this category. It's all based off muscle memory. Like, if you're wondering how I'm shooting things so efficiently, I'm cross-referencing positioning and then memorizing like input combos to then be able to sequence together like efficient aiming of pretty much everything in this game. Like, it's not all like improvised. It's semi-improvised, I guess, but a lot of it is like routed for me. Like, I need to stand in a certain position. For example, if I press down once and left once, standing right there, I'll hit the cycle for the birds perfectly and efficiently. So like when I'm shooting these presents, it's all routed and intended a certain way.
And it is a little bit different for each runner. There are some of those setups that I have slightly different from you. But yeah, it's basically like, I know exactly how much a left press is or how much an up press is, and then where do I stand to make that work. And then sometimes the camera decides...
That's the hardest present in the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Go. Another one.
Oh no.
Go, Max. Eat this. Another
The robots, like, sometimes they just move somewhere you don't expect. This is going to be a short death warp just back at the beginning. These areas, because you have to like jump down and press the button and jump back up, it takes so long to actually do them properly, so. The dump is broken into technically 3 main parts, which is like this opening area, the blue section and the green section. There's like subsections behind this. There's also like completely other areas which we haven't even talked about, and you don't see in any percent. But in 100%, you go to all of the different areas, obviously. So we will be coming back, and like there's a huge open area on this level once we come back.
I'd probably say what I'm about to do right here is one of the hardest parts of the run. Is the rat sequence requires me to coordinate something like 20 or 30 rats to follow me, and I have to like dictate where they go to get around this, I guess, area without getting caught on things. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm a lot of multitasking here. Like I'm moving. I might be going a bit off path to move a rat, but it all comes into sequence.
This is an early 2000 game, so the rats are very annoying.
Yeah, I've already made a major mistake with one of the rats. He's stuck in a corner in the worst area.
It'd be a lot easier if you could like make Max kind of like an anchor point, so they would bounce off him and go where you wanted. But unfortunately, you just can't.
We can use Max for the ending. It's just the setup is all Grinch. I have to be careful here because like you can clip rats out of bounds. So I can use them at the end here to herd them into the hole. There we go.
Worried about that last one.
Go, Max!
Yeah.
While we're getting this last rat, have either of you had the distinct privilege of playing the Game Boy Color version of the...
No, but we finally have a runner of the game. It's exciting.
Yes, there's 2 actually. Well, no, there is 1, and there was the person who submitted the first run, I believe, which was myself actually.
Oh, was it you?
Yes.
Oh.
I was the first submission, but I have since been eclipsed, and rightfully so, because that game is brutal. So I forget the name of the person who has absolutely obliterated by my record by like over an hour. So GG's on that one. But yeah, that game is brutal. That's a hard one.
Another one!
I've played the DS game.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a DS version. That's based off like the original animated, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a bit
it's
more in line with
based
the
off.
60s one.
Yeah.
I just remember I didn't enjoy it.
I would imagine not. Most of those Christmas DS games, as somebody who runs one of them, is not very good. They're not very good.
As I come up to that trick Church was mentioning.
Yeah. So, oh my god, I thought that was gonna send you back. So in the any percent run, and I guess all of the runs, basically, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to bring the slime shooter in here, and you're supposed to shoot that enemy with slime so it can't shoot you. But for some reason, if you run Max underneath the mattress, it disables the robot's ability to shoot. It makes the mattress a little bit jumpy and a little bit difficult to work on, but you can just jump across no problem.
I think the reason being is that the robot can't reach the bottom, and I don't think he initiates his shooting until he hits the lowest point he can. So by Max being below him, it kind of prevents him from moving all the way down. I think that's what causes it, but I could be wrong.
I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense, so I believe that explanation. So this is also the area where you just get like a bunch of rotten eggs, because you're supposed to use the rocket spring to jump across each of those platforms, but you can just make it with a double jump. So they have a 5 egg on every one of those just to make sure you have enough to make the next platform. So you just pick up a bunch of 5s, and you just have a bajillion eggs. And then all of these are also 5 spawns.
Little under, but that's all right. Yeah, in that room, I can actually technically go through the whole room without doing any of the tricks, but it requires pixel perfect, frame perfect movement in like 5 different spots. And then I just completely mess that up.
Wrecking ball can be really difficult to hit if you stop short under that pipe. It can just like eat your input or your eggs basically.
Gotcha.
Gonna be coming up to a cutscene skip. I guess I'll try and explain that when I come up to it. There's actually 2. I'm gonna try and get both, but one of them's frame perfect. The other one, which I'll probably won't get, but the other one's got a pretty consistent setup. I'd say it's about 70% consistent for me. So I'll see how I go. I intentionally avoid that blueprint so that way I can aim in straight away and kill that robot on cycle.
Another one.
Everything I do on skip is all in intention to do it as optimally as I can. Alright, so
Here, you got it.
twist this valve, pull this lever, pull one more lever, and then here comes the cutscene skip trick here. This is the last birds we need to collect pizza from. So I need to position myself, jump, pancake, grab the lever at the same time and pull it, and that skips the whole cutscene. So that saves about 30 seconds, I believe. Let's see if I can get this next one as well. I got it. Nice.
Go.
So that's like, you got to aim in on the exact first frame, I believe, after animating that lever or that twisty wheel, and then it will skip another cutscene. So I probably saved about 40 seconds in cutscenes just there alone.
So there is a little bit to go over there, so I'm going to try and make it quick before we get into the next level. So one thing kind of to go over, skipping that blueprint, when the blueprint is on your screen and it's like, hey, you collected a blueprint, you can't bring out your gadget. So that's why Sans does that kind of movement, because it allows us to actually use gadgets. The other thing is, well, first of all, that second cutscene skip you did, I've gotten that before, and it's completely not worked. Like, it skips the cutscene and then it teleports me to the beginning of the level, which in any percent is bad. I guess we are in Whoville, so that kid right there, unless you have a different setup than what I'm familiar with, the setup is like, if you get hugged by that child at the same time as you get hit by the music note, the kid will like phase into your hitbox, and then you can go places where you're supposed to have a cloak.
Hey, go Max.
But so in Who Dump, right at the end when Sans did the 2 cutscene skips, there is a pretty big skip. Actually, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit later, because we do have to go back to that area, so I'll just talk about that later. So back in Whoville, we have more gadgets, so we can do a lot more things. We can now shoot eggs into the windows. This is also, we're going to be sculpting the mayor's... Actually, I think we complete pretty much everything except the copter, right? Once we have the slime shooter, we can go in here. There's... Mostly it's just a bunch of, like, presents and blueprints, but there is one objective, which is the sculpture.
God
Now
damn
that we
it.
have the slime.
That present went in the worst spot.
Now that we have the slime shooter, we can, slime these guards, which is the only way to disable them. And then once you've slimed them, they just, like, disappear.
On PSX, you don't even have to pull this safe out. The hitbox is clipped outside of the area, so you don't even have to pull it out. But on PC, you do.
The hitboxes.
Here,
God.
I was gonna say here. There's like a bunch of laser lights that protect the statue that we need to go and disrupt. But because I know the positioning of it all, I can just jump straight over it like that, and then I can turn it off and then disrupt the statue. It's the only trick in this room.
I don't remember what I was going to say, so probably wasn't important. So this room here just like has all of the blueprints in the world for whatever reason.
The hitboxes and they suck trying to grab them.
Hitboxes, that's what I was going to talk about. There's like a bunch of things that just have completely different hitboxes between PC and console. For whatever reason. I assume it was porting issues, but there's like jumps you can do on PC you can't do on console and vice versa.
Oh my god. That kid might be Jason Bourne.
Or whatever the Who version of that is.
My brain desperately tries to think of a Jason. Fun.
I tried for a few seconds. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
There's nothing there. I can't think
The
of
thing
it.
I thought of was Martha May Bornier. I was like, no, that's kind
I'll
of
take
lame.
that. I'll take that. That one's for the true fans.
Oh, what the hell? The camera. There we go. There's so many little things I'm doing, but I don't want to like overcomplicate things. And I'm just kind of like just quietly focusing. But things are
there's just
happening.
like there's like a lot of just like micro optimizations that you do that you just don't really think about.
That's the one room in the whole game I don't animation cancel because it doesn't work properly.
So we're in the Xmas clock tower. So now we just had to do a bunch of like puzzles. Although once you know the answers, they're like actually really simple. When I was 10, they were not this simple. But it's just like a few puzzles. You move some gears around, and then that will mess up the countdown. The Born Whodentity is way better than anything we said.
Yes, we take that. Thank you. The Born Whodentity.
I was also want to ask, do we collect all the gifts in the game? We do, and the total count needs to be 3,000 by the end. The way we know if we've 100%ed the game or not, there'll be like a little secret mini game at the end, but we'll go over that when we're near the end.
And if you are playing casually, the presents do actually do something a little more than just be a collectible. If you go back to the hub world, like the Grinch cave, there's actually on the top floor, there's a bunch of like doors that require a certain amount of presents to open, and they just have like a bunch of different mini games.
Yeah, as well, the gifts actually work to help recover your health if you take damage. If you jump on a gift, it actually recovers some of the health you've lost. Which we use, I'm very grateful for having in Who Forest 3, which is the scariest level in the game. Not doing too bad on the run. I'm only 10 seconds behind record, but I think I'm going to fall a little further behind after this.
Hey, 10 seconds off. That is not bad. Well done.
Yeah, if anyone was wondering, world records are 139.08, and my PB is a 140.44.
Bring me back that thing.
Red, yellow, pink, green, blue. Red, yellow, green, pink, blue. Red, yellow, green, pink, blue. Sorry. Red, yellow, green.
Do what you got to do to remember those patterns.
Pink, blue. Okay, we should be good now. This is the best pattern you can get. Wait, was it not red, yellow, green, pink, blue?
Go, Max.
I made a mistake. Let's try again. Red, yellow, pink, green, blue. Whoops.
Pink.
You know-
I got you now.
Yeah, see, you know what's funny? This is the exact same pattern as the one I got yesterday, but the pink and green got flipped around, so I think I muscle memoried yesterday's run. God damn it.
It happens.
Go, Max.
I'm a bit under egged at the moment. There we go.
Yeah, that is the one, like, downside of a hundo. Like, in any percent, as soon as you're out of who dump, you don't need to look at another egg for the rest of the run. But in this, like, even, like, you get so much, but you still have to constantly maintain your egg count because you just use so much more.
You might have noticed that I did a gadget swap when I entered the room as well. It's like one of the only areas in the game where you can do that, and it's optimal. You don't want to do it too often though, because it can soft lock your game. But they're okay to do it if you time it right.
And this is an early 2000s game. There is no autosave. There is a save function, but it's a speedrun. Who saves?
And the PC saving function is really bad and buggy.
Is not good. You're required to save in any percent. Well, I guess you're not required to. You could do a slower strat, but you save once, and it's fun and slow.
When I was on top of that, on that platform before, that's an example of position, like muscle memory of positioning, and input sequences, so I can then shoot presents in really hard to reach areas. It helps a lot if you can memorize like the positioning and stuff of every present, and like the cycles and behaviors of everything.
We actually, now that I'm thinking of it, we didn't talk about the cutscene skip in the very first level.
We didn't?
You can like, I don't know. Did you? I didn't.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Oh, so you talked about the book cutscene skip, which then we forgot to talk about the pole cutscene skip. Basically, that roof Sans was just on. You can jump to it and then jump across to where the paint can is. And doing that, and then later on jumping on the kid's head.
I forgot something. This is why I have my splits open, in case this would happen.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-second time loss.
Yeah.
I did this last night as well.
Yeah.
That's why I have my splits to remind me.
Hey.
Because I got a gold split, and I was like, no, I menued that really badly. And then I realized my mistake.
That is exactly why I always run with splits, because my split names tell me if I messed up.
Uh-huh. Run with splits, gang, because they are helpful beyond just knowing what your time is.
Sweetheart, I'm home.
It runs that I don't care about the time on. I still run with the timer because it's like, oh, I'm dumb. I forgot to do X. This is an incredibly difficult run to do Grinchless, yes.
In my opinion, this is probably the hardest level in the game, or if not the hardest, definitely the scariest. I can lose easily a minute in the later part of this level, because the guards in one of these other rooms has frame perfect shooting. Like they can shoot you on frame 1 when you're available to be hit, and they can just they can loop you to death. So it's a very scary level. In this room, they're not coded too bad, but in one room, it's not really coded very well. So you get messed up real easy. I'll show the guard in particular that I have to worry about when I get to him.
So this area here is just like at the top of the cable cart. You got like a ski resort. It has not too much to talk about. It's got like a new guard we haven't run into. But besides
There
that,
is one thing in this area. If I need to kind of do my movement very efficiently here. I'm on a cycle with the dog walking around at the moment, and if I get him under the house, I've done the cycle perfectly. And yep, there he is. He's constantly moving around in the map as I'm traversing, so I need to try and do my movement in a concise way so I can optimally, you know, I guess snow him on the spot without wasting time. Oh boy, it's time for the next room.
which is also like it is one of the most difficult. I also think it's just like one of the more fun ones to do casually. So this is just like this device lets you climb up walls which are scalable, which lets us get into this area.
Go,
Which I actually forgot was supposed to be a civic center because it's nothing like a civic center. And this gadget is, I mean, actually, a lot of the later gadgets use just like a lot of eggs, but this is one of those that is gonna just drain a lot of eggs. Because you gotta do so much climbing and it takes up a lot.
You might have noticed I left Max on top of some eggs at the bottom part of the level. He's actually constantly grabbing eggs as I was climbing up the wall there to just help reduce, like what Church said, the loss. Right here, there's a precise jump. If I can do it, I'll try and get it. There we go. I can break the ice cube and the present in one jump, which usually requires two.
go, Max.
I don't know how it works exactly, but if I can jump low enough, I can then skip having to animate two separate jumps.
Another one.
So you'll notice that there are these like circle things that are spinning that Sans is shooting down. They have rockets, and for some reason they only drop one when you shoot them. Doesn't super make sense because there's at least four on there. But
Alright, this guard here is what I'm talking about. This is the hands down the scariest point of the run. But I'm going to play a safety measure here. There we go. By using the slime shooter, then bad breathing. Oh, we got around that problem. He can shoot you frame one. Unless you like get like the first frame bad breath, which is what I normally do in world record attempts, but lately I've not been bothering because it kills too many runs.
Oh! Another one.
Yeah, the music in this level is really good.
Another one.
I like the music in a lot of levels, but yeah, this one's great.
Rated bops for sure.
And on my new PC, I actually get to hear the music for the entire game, because on my old PC, I lost audio at Who Dump.
That's odd.
Actually, so no, I still had music, but I lost all of the sound effects, and then Who Lake is where I lost music. I have no idea why I did that.
Weird.
This is a great game.
It's been reviewed poorly. Every year you'll see a new YouTuber come along bad-mouthing the game. But they haven't speedrun the game, so what would they know?
I mean, I actually really like the game. Like, it has some issues, but I genuinely enjoy this game.
Yeah, it looks solid. I saw a number of people in the chat say like either they loved it when they were younger or like they would have loved it had they known it existed. So I think there is an appreciation for it for sure.
I remember I had the original 2000s DVD for the Grinch film, and back in the day, DVDs their menu would be at the end of the film, not at the start. And I remember as a kid, I decided I'm going to watch through all the credits for the sake of it. No idea why. I was like, I'm going to watch through all the credits. And then I discovered this like menu screen, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, there's all these extra things. So I started watching Who's School or whatever it was, where they'd get the Circus Delay people and teach them how to move like Who's. Makeup design, CGI. But the thing that blew me away was it was a video game trailer. It was for this game. And it always resonated in my mind ever since I was a kid. But when I got into speedrunning, I was like looking for new avenues. And I was like, I wonder if anyone speedrun that Grinch game I remember seeing as a kid. And that's where I discovered Church, who was the world record holder at the time.
Wow, that was really interesting. Yeah, I had forgotten that that they used to put a lot more stock into movie tie-in video games, to the point where they would advertise it alongside the movies.
Hashtag bring back licensed video games.
Let's go.
I mean, legitimately, yes. I would play them.
Yes.
Well, just
Absolutely.
okay, hold on. Make them good. Don't just bring them back. But yeah, like I would play another Grinch game.
All right, we're about to battle
console.
Germany.
I definitely would.
Yeah, gotta defeat the Germans. Super tall. So stupid.
Another one! Go, Max!
Oh, I was meant to shoot that first. Let's see if this works. Yes, it did work. Thank God.
The ones, I mean, I guess I wish all of the console glitches worked on PC, but I really wish we could move Max on PC without having to select
Yeah.
them.
It's kind of funny. Both versions have their pros and cons. Like PSX has probably better glitches, and I guess if you're like a purist in like lag reduction strats, then it's got that too. But I kind of like the no lag. But I hate the D-pad. Like shooting on PSX is better, and controlling Max is better, and just controlling the Grinch in general. Like the controls are way better on PSX, but the no lag and faster loads make PC such a smooth experience for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. So a couple weeks back, we had a Hellboy game on the show that was also PC and PS1, and like the PS1 version had like whole sections cut out, probably for file length. I don't really know, but like it was still slower because of the load times. And I find that it's a common refrain. It's just like when it comes to PS1 and PC. And the load times are good, but there's all these other gives and takes.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why we wanted the leaderboard split in half between console and PC. Like, they're very different experiences, and some glitches work on some ports and some work on others, and the behavior is different of both games. So we wanted to allow competition in both avenues. Like, for example, if we were to use any percent in Church, can definitely speak volumes from his experience. Any percent PC is mostly a glitchless experience, where you look at PSX and it's flooded with tricks everywhere.
Yeah.
But it makes the experience very different. Both are very good in their own way. Like PC's more glitchless but more optimal, but PSX is much more difficult but faster for other reasons. So they've both got their own charm to it.
That's really interesting.
So yeah, like there there's probably a lot more minor glitches since I ran PSX, but when I made the switch over from PSX to PC, I think there was like 4 minutes of tricks that you just couldn't bring to PC, and the run was still faster, just because of load times.
It's actually funny to say, like, you would think that with this game being so old, the PC speedruns would have been done a lot longer, but I'm actually the very first person to ever speedrun the PC version, because no one could figure out how to get the game working on PC properly. And I spent like 2 weeks trying to figure out how to get it to work. And then once I did, yeah, I got into testing it. It was so exciting to finally like properly crack into it and do runs and compare what works and what doesn't.
Go, Max!
But yeah, if anyone's watching is interested in getting into the Grinch, I'd love to get new runners into the game. We've got our own Discord. Everyone in the server is really cool. And I would honestly recommend, if you're going to try this game out, I would suggest PC any % first. So it's the easiest to get into for sure.
Yeah.
Don't start with PC Hundo or PSX Hundo, please. Start it simple and work up.
Yeah, like, so I think a big part of like why you should start with any % is just like it's really important to get the movement down before you go into Hundo.
Yeah.
Because like, and we kind of talked about it earlier. A lot of Grinch speedrunning is like very minor optimizations, very minor things that like it's just impossible to explain in a run all the things you're doing, because it's like, okay, I'm stopping at this specific spot and I know X amount of like D-pad presses will get me to aim where I want to go. I'm gonna stop here because the angle is right when I do this thing in a second. Like, it's so many minor things that it's just impossible to convey in a run.
Go, Max!
Yeah, the alternative option is you can learn PSX with an emulator, but emulators are slower and you get no lag, so it doesn't really translate very well over to the console experience when you start playing on console and you're lagging like crazy. So I'm doing a bit of multitasking here. I'm going to bad breath this guard, and whilst waiting for him to spit the present out, I'll shoot that present over there and then get this present here. So it's a lot of that in this level. This is the longest level in the game.
Yeah, so
It starts to speed up once we get past it.
Yeah. So this is also like one of the bigger levels of the game. There is a power plant later on, and this is just an entire area to get to the power plant. In fact, this part is so long, they actually add fast travel at the end of this, so that you can get back to the start of the level.
You might have noticed I use my binoculars to zoom in and just shoot a blank air. There's actually a hitbox for a switch, just not physically loaded in, but the hitbox is loaded, so I'm actually shooting switches without even being able to see them, and the binoculars come into play there. I can't actually shoot it if I'm completely zoomed out, so that's where binoculars do definitely come in handy.
Go, Max!
This is just a little bit of optimization with Max and picking up some stuff while you get the buttons, which is going to let us get into the next area, which is it's basically right before the entrance of the power plant. What here? So this is Sans picked up a little bit of extra eggs here just because if you miss, it's really punishing to go back and get them.
Truth be told, that was a mistake. That wasn't. I'm glad you tried to save me there, but I was just not thinking.
Had to clear that conscience. Well done. Coming clean.
Yeah, as soon as I did, I was like, why did I grab 5? I only need 2. I've done nothing safe in this run so far. And plus, I blow all my eggs right here anyways.
Yeah. I was covering for it. Yeah. I mean, it is extra ammo, so it's not like it's a complete
that's
waste.
true.
Yeah. You were just worried
Save
about
that
your
one
egg
egg.
count.
That's it. Oh, no.
Technically,
Very
everything I said was true. Except
One
that
thing I
you
didn't get to mention, before we forget and we leave this room, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The yellow presents, so each of the presents give you a certain value, and certain presents can be broken in certain ways. Some can be run over by Max, some can be shot, some can be singular jumped on, some need to be pancaked, aka double jumped onto. Yellow presents, the only way you can break them is the Grinch ground pounding onto them or pancaking onto them. In this room, this area of this map, this like extra area of Who Dump, this is the one area of the game where you can shoot the 10 presents. No idea why. I don't know if it was like an error in the programming, but yeah, this is the one room in the whole game where you can shoot 10 presents. Just wanted to mention that before we leave the area, because I totally forgot to mention it when I did it. I acted like it was completely normal to do that. So I thought someone might be watching going, why is he not shooting the yellow presents earlier?
Also, that camera shift was, as a kid, that was probably the most difficult thing to deal with. That camera shift, jumping onto the blades.
Well, I'm glad my run's not going to die today because my aiming function turned off, so that's good. So yay for that.
Oh, that was here? Okay, so yeah, we're safe. Okay.
Yeah, we're safe. So what happened was, I was on the you know those like 3 rotating fan blades? I was like spamming select and R1 and just spamming buttons for fun, and it just glitched my game out and stopped it from working. I was like, oh, okay, let's not do that again. I was like theorizing if I could like bad breath faster by doing like first person spam, but no, doesn't work.
There is technically another soft. I shouldn't say it. I'm not going to jinx you. I'll say it after the run.
Alright, so this area is quite difficult. So we'll see how we go. There is going to be one trick I'm going to do pretty early on when I go up. It's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it.
There's basically a giant, not spherical, but circular room with a bunch of different levels. So this electrical enemy, because he has like the electric prong on those grates, he can just like electrocute the floor and it'll zap you.
So I meant to do a whole bunch of other stuff to turn off this fence. If I had positioned myself here and rocket spring around and do it correctly, which by the way is very difficult, we can get around that platform, save time. If I did this more optimally, I would have made that platform cycle, but I didn't want to risk it in a run like this.
It's a pretty tight window.
Yeah, it requires perfect movement.
So yeah, this is basically just a giant circular room. It's got a bunch of different levels, and there's a bunch of switches that you have to shoot in order to disable the power plant in the middle. I guess it's all a power plant, but...
There is one area in the game, where it can crash, but it's a PSX only thing to worry about. And we figured out, like, I was able to problem solve and figure out how to prevent that from happening going forward, so it was a big relief. So essentially in this room here, there's just so many eggs and so many things loading, and the lag is so heavy that the game will just crash. So you have to, like, move your camera a specific way and change your gadget before entering the room to prevent it from crashing.
Half of the area done.
God, this area on console, it lags so much. Like, all those lightning bolts in the background.
Yeah.
The game
Oh,
just
I
struggles.
can imagine. My PS1 is sweating in the corner just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, so worried I was going to make that platform cycle, but it was pretty safe. Alright, I hate this area. I got knocked off this platform a few days ago. Let's hope it doesn't happen. It's a robot. I meant to use the red egg to break him so I can clearly run through, but screw that. I'm not going to do it.
That takes too much time.
I did it. Yeah,
It's very nice.
I'm going to wait the extra cycle anyways. I could have made it, but wanted the extra eggs because I'm being low. Alright, here's another trick here that's really cool. So if I zoom in here and I shoot right on the left side, I can actually hit that button from, like, the opposite side of the map. Saves me traversing all the way over there to then shoot it. It's probably one of the coolest tricks we ever found.
Gotcha.
Cindy Loot is in this game for like 2 cutscenes. Yes. Wait till you see the ending. Oh boy. With the 5 Whoville people. Oh, I got the book skip on Relake.
That was impressive.
Oh, there's another trick here with these bats. Instead of just sneaking up the hill, I can jump and essentially knock myself up the hill, which then saves having a slow walk up the hill. Saves a little bit of time. Jump over this. Yep, cool.
We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but Sans, what made you make the decision in life to master this game as a speedrun? Is a question in the chat.
Okay. Well, it's a good question. I do have an answer to it. So I've been speedrunning, to go back to the start, I've been speedrunning Kingdom Hearts since 2013, 2014. My whole goal and desire with that game was to be the world record holder of beginner any percent for the PS3 port of Kingdom Hearts 1. The PS4 port came out and I sadly didn't achieve my goals in time, so I just felt really like lost and burnt out in speedrunning. Like definitely like a loss of direction because the PS3 port became irrelevant, so I was like, well, that's like 4 years hard work just down the drain. Well, no, more like 3 years, sorry. So it was kind of like, and it felt like moving forward, it was really not going to be like a relevant port that, you know, would be competitive. So I was like, how can I re-challenge myself in a new way? And then when I discovered this game, it was like so amazing. It just, like, I was getting ready to honestly quit speedrunning at that point in time. I was so down. But when I found Grinch, it like completely reinvigorated everything I love about speedrunning. It was a game that, no offense to any of the runners before, it definitely wasn't completely mastered in terms of optimization or tricks or routing, and being able to go on that journey with Church and some of the other runners, figuring out how to optimize the game, figuring out how to make the game more consistent or faster, was just so awesome. And I remember when I got my first sub 40 first sub 40 minute any percent run on PSX. That was just in my opinion, like I've done a lot of great runs before, but that to me was probably one of the most rewarding I've ever done, because it just kind of signified that I was able to like not be just the Kingdom Hearts guy. I was able to move on and be something else as well. You know, because in speedrunning you can kind of get stuck or attached to one game, or you can be looked at as the guy who runs this one specific game. And my goal was to try and become the Grinch guy. So I'm very competitive with this game. I currently have 5 out of the 6 world records, this category being the last one, which I used to be the world record holder of. So my journey is to become, I call it the Grinch God, which is we have 6 out of 6 world records. So yeah, that's kind of Grinch the journey. God. Yeah, I do love this game though. It's not just for it's not just a cliche. Like I think speedrunning this game optimally is really fun and challenging, but like not too like BS at the same time. Not too many RNG elements to it. Besides eggs, obviously. But yeah, the game's like, it's very much on you, the player, and I find it very rewarding. It like from a first glance, it might seem very simple, but I guarantee if you try and get your hands on it and play it, you can kind of see the tech and the optimizations that are being done a lot harder than they may look at first sight.
I didn't want to cut off your story there because it was very, you know, it was a very heartwarming tale. But you did pull off a really cool trick that I didn't notice when I was watching runs earlier.
Yeah, 2 tricks actually.
Yeah, 2 tricks with the binoculars. But so using the binoculars, you snipe some of the shorts up top.
Oh, dude, sorry, one sec.
Yeah. So the second one, which was mind blowing. There's a beehive at the top of that cliff. Normally, you're supposed to use the octopus climbing device to get up there. But there is a cutscene you get when you drop the beehive on whatever that creature is, a bear, I guess, that I guess teleports you all the way back up there. So Sans just knocked the beehive down, did all the things on the bottom, and got teleported back up.
Yeah, very difficult trick. It's actually, like, it's near pixel precise where you got to stand. It's an incredibly precise position you need to be in for it to work. And it can kill your run pretty easily.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. But yeah, like Church was saying, I jump onto a fence to then get to a certain height where I can actually, if I can shoot a present very precisely without needing to use the Oculus climbing device to climb up a wall on the left and then go up there to do the exact same thing, because what makes the trick faster is actually the little warp I do after, where I shoot the beehive and it warps me up the top. If it wasn't for that shot, that trick would not be worth it at all. What am I doing? Go this way. I did everything out of order. Oh, that West Australian weather's starting to kick in now. Feeling that sweat. The sun's coming up. I think there's a Beatles song for it. Here Comes the Sun, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah. Ironic considering we're so winter themed.
Oh my god. Have I been drinking this morning? What is going on? Too much eggnog.
Too much egg.
So, when we're in disguises like this scout costume, we actually lose, like, all of our abilities. We can't bad breath, we can't use gadgets, we can only jump and double jump. And I mean, I guess,
summon
like,
max, that's it.
Yeah.
Come in, Moose.
There we go.
That was my fault. Fun fact about PC port: the second log I have to high jump. If I don't make it up. Useless facts for you.
I guess This is actually something I ran into switching from PSX to PC. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. The timing. So when you're swinging, there's a long jump and a high jump, and the timing is like if you press it a little bit after, like, so a long jump is just like jumping, and then if you wait a little bit, you high jump.
That is ridiculous. That is the best luck I have ever seen in my life.
Really good, yeah.
That little mole goes around the entire map, like, of this area. And look, as you can see, they're all in the one area. That is ridiculous. That just blew my mind. I probably saved, like, not even kidding, probably 15 to 20 seconds on world record just on the RNG there alone.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, that was insane.
Thanks,
I've
Mo.
never seen luck like that ever from any runner.
So yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this, but on PSX, the timing for your jumps is different than on PC. And it's just like a half-second difference between high jumps and long jumps, and it was really difficult to get used to when I switched.
Yeah, the timing's more precise on PC.
Yeah.
And PSX is a bit more of like a buffer. You're meant to press it earlier than you should normally.
That definitely took me probably like 20 hours just to get used to.
Yo, shout out Sorkine. Did you also run Monsters Inc? Yes, I did. Monsters Inc Scream Team is made by the same developer team as the Grinch game, so it's Monsters Inc Scream Team. Another game I love greatly. So it's more of a platforming focused game rather than an action adventure game like this one. Amazing speed game though. I'd recommend it.
That's a game I have looked at for shows in the past or future, so something I'll keep my eye on. Sure.
There's also Smurf Racer, but I wouldn't recommend that. I love how they brought out a new Smurf Racer recently, and they're like, the first Smurf Racer. I'm like, you're lying. You've made one before. A long time ago.
They want everybody to forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go, Max.
That was just a quick death warp. Sending Max into the water sends Grinch into the water too, which just sends you right back. So it's just a quick way to get back to...
Here comes the truck trick, Church.
This trick is
Camper
a
van.
great trick. Yeah. Normally you're supposed to push that rock up here and jump up, but somebody came along who's actually never done a run. They just came in and started like
They're
glitch
obsessed
hunting.
with PC Grinch video game. Yeah, he just plays
Yeah.
PC Grinch. Just posts videos of weird jumps he finds. That's it. And we're like, do you want to do runs? He's like, no. I'm just like, looking for jumps.
Yeah,
It's
we
like a Mega
appreciate
Chat
it.
moment. He's like, no, I don't think I will.
Okay.
I'll continue to find jumps. Because, yeah, he was the only person who had, like, the ability to... Oh, before I explain that, here's another trick with Max.
Go, Max.
Yeah, first try, let's go. I can use Max as essentially a platform.
And
Sounds
only in like
ridiculous, I'll just jump on my dog.
that spot too. You're not really able to do that anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot harder. Like, you can technically jump on Max anywhere in the whole game, but in that one area, it's quite consistent, being able to jump onto his back, where in other areas, you pretty much slide off straight away. You'd have to wedge up against a wall and then be in the right sort of place. But yeah, like Church said, it's pretty much only there. It's viable. Here's the present. If we were playing PSX, that's awkward. Oh god, I totally forgot to do the skunk sequence.
Go, Max.
Oh,
I'll just do this in reverse order. Alright, there we go. I'll
so
go run off
that
and grab
jump
it.
we just did is an any percent jump. You do it in this, but the reason it's mostly an any percent thing is because it skips this section. but this is 100% and you have to do it.
I totally forgot to do this earlier. That's my bad. I was waiting for the routing mistake to come along, and here it is.
Technically speaking, you have to go into that room in any percent, but you don't deal with this skunk here. You should... did you get the skunk?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just realized. Where is the skunk? Is the skunk even here? Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, there. Hello. It's like, where did you go?
Always get so nervous with games like it feels like they could break it any second.
This is not the spot we want to learn you can deload the skunk.
No, especially not right now.
Yeah.
This present here on PSX, if you play the console category, if you don't get it before leaving to a different room, it will deload and it will never reload again. But on PC, it's fine for you to leave it sitting there. I just forgot to do the whole entire minigame like an idiot. I feel so thrown off now.
Well, we're pretty much getting into the fun revisiting every level multiple times.
Yeah.
Part.
When I do Who Lake 2, I'm probably not going to talk because it's the hardest skill level in the game. Requires the most, like... What am I doing? I'm too much eggnog again.
You're doing any percent strats right now.
I'm doing some weird stuff, yeah. But yeah, Who Lake 2 is definitely the most like technical, skilled part of the run for sure. Because controlling the boat on PC with only W8 S&D as your controls is incredibly hard.
Are you a keyboard and mouse player?
No. I was just saying like the 4 directional inputs. I use
okay.
a PS2
I was
controller.
gonna say that you just added an extra level of difficulty if you're doing that, but no.
I'm not that talented.
I,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is one runner who does use a keyboard and mouse though.
Wow,
I
dedication.
props to them. So yeah, this Marine Mobile is the worst controls in the game by far. Which this is a 2000s game, so that's saying a lot.
Because I forgot to grab that what do you call it? That blueprint earlier in the run. Everything was out of order there. So I was so confused.
That is like one of the weirdest things is just getting a blueprint out of order just completely messes with your ability to put it properly because it just is completely against your muscle memory. So this area here has a lot going on. The first thing you need to do is you need to collect all of these pearls for it's a seahorse? I don't know, some aquatic creature. That'll get you a slight part. So I guess overall, I'll take a step back here. So the final part of the game, you have technically completed all of the required missions to get to the end of the game. The last big mission you have to do is collecting sleigh parts to build your sleigh to confront Santa. So we got one of them by collecting those pearls. There's a bunch of things going on here. So we've got these sea cows here that eat the grass, and there's a bunch of presents in these grass patches. So Sans has to go between all of these sea cows and bump them into the patches with presents. And he has to cycle around doing that. There's also parts for the Marine Mobile to turn it into I like kind of like a scarecrow-esque thing, but just make it look scary. There's also like a surface part that has presents. There's a lot going on here. So it's a lot of... Also, the controls are terrible. So there's go forward and there's turbo. And go forward is incredibly slow. Again, turbo is faster, but makes it very difficult to actually be able to control. So it's a lot of like very minute inputs to turn, usually, and just a lot of skill involved. Then you can come up here and you can like jump, and you have to do that specifically here for this to raise up the cage. And there's also just a larger section a little later on that has a bunch of presents and I believe a blueprint as well that you have to like jump out of the water to get. And you can just kind of see how like annoying. Ooh. I've never seen it get pushed up that far.
I pressed it twice because it doesn't sometimes eat the sea kelp or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the AI on it is frustrating and it is slow sometimes.
It's not going to work. That will work. There we go. So I'm doing a lot of multitasking. Like I'll hit someone and then I'll run off and grab a present and I'll come back and then collect the present from the first thing I hit. It's a big mixture and combination of those kind of things. A lot of multitasking.
These little swimming things. I don't know what these are. Presumably it's some kind of aquatic life for the Who's, but it's a slight part, or not slight part, a part of the disguise.
Trying to justify this in my brain because if you remember the movie, it all takes place inside of a snowflake. So where is this like little lake water section in the snowflake?
Well, I can give you some interesting insight about the film, actually, that's been recently discovered. The original cut of the Grinch film, the 2000 film, was 4 hours long. So they cut out like 2 hours of scenes from the film. So, for example, there was the ending minigame is a motorbike sequence that they actually filmed a motorbike sequence for the film. The reason I know this is because they released a book which was not well known called The Grinch Who Stole Hollywood, which is a behind the scenes biography book on the film, and they cross-referenced that the original cut of the film was 4 hours, and Ron Howard was happy with the length, but then Imagination were like, no, that's too long, and shorten it. So maybe there was a Who Lake.
Yeah, there could have been a Who Lake.
It's a lot to ponder.
20 Canadian dollars to see the 4-hour movie.
Yeah, there's
Give
like
us
this
the Howard
YouTuber
cut.
called. There's this there's this like YouTuber called Grinch, and he just finds a bunch of like lost scenes and like hidden trailers and commercial and adverts for the Grinch film, and he just posts them. And he was the one who kind of found it. But he's found set pieces from the film. He's found so much stuff. And every year he like starts a Twitter trend called "Release the Howard Cut," like Snyder Cut.
Oh wow! I was making a joke, but that's a real thing now. Okay.
Oh, this is the most important movement I've ever heard of.
I can't think of anything more important than that. Give us the Howard Cut.
I think it goes there. Oh my god, what am I doing? That goes there, and then 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 that goes there, and that goes there, and that goes there. There we go. Alright, my favourite gadget in the game. This is the Grinch copter. So right there, I just actually did a bit of precise movement to try and, because that Who will run around constantly, really hard to catch. But I did a bad breath as I was flying, but I pressed it preemptively before landing because it has a bit of a weird lag or buffer to the input press. So I like time it a little bit before I'm about to hit him, so that way I can bad breath him before he gets away. Will the fly get in the way? Yes, the fly gets in the way. There's a fly blocking this. Oh no, and then another fly got me. Sometimes the flies in this map will block this van, which is like perfect. Oh god, this is not very fast. So if I'm correct here, once I slime shoot this guard and I get the present, it should say all gifts collected. Alright, we're good. Woo. One level down.
Yeah, this last little bit's pretty much just collecting everything with the Grinch copter, like things that you pimped before. And I guess the sleigh parts, since we have to revisit anyway.
And yeah, and some minor, what do you call it? Some minor missions left to do as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have to address this. In the chat, Church, among other people, are talking about Halloween is Grinch night. Can we elaborate on what this is, please?
Halloween is Grinch night is, I want to say 78 direct to, not DVD, direct to VHS movie, where it's, I don't know that it's the same Whoville, presumably it is, but it's a Halloween movie. And there is the Who's, and there is a small child, and he leaves the house to go to the bathroom, and then gets sucked up in a whole adventure with the Grinch, who is coming to scare the ever-living crap out of the Who's.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I didn't know I needed to watch something so badly.
It is fantastic.
There was a question mark there. I heard it.
No, it's fantastic.
Fantastic? Okay, there we go. Definitive.
That sounded like another question mark after the first question mark. It is fantastic.
It's fantastic if you are not 12. It definitely traumatized my younger brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not 12, so I think I'll enjoy it.
It's a good movie. It's definitely a 1978 movie.
Okay.
So, take that what you will. All I'm saying is, what a wonderful night for eyebrows. What a wonderful night for teeth. What a wonderful night for Grinch night. Their troubles will now commence. I wouldn't stay in on a night like tonight for $66.66. Yes, I have that memorized.
I was gonna say, is that part of the script?
That is a quote from the movie.
Oh, here comes
Everyone
another
has
bad
their
breath.
number.
I got it. Yay, because that
Let's
is the
go.
worst Who to try and chase down.
Hey, he is big. Ow! Ow!
Oh no, no, no. Oh, thank God. Oh my God, this camera angle, thank you.
And if you're wondering why these were left earlier, it's because we come in here to do a death warp at the end.
Alright.
It's unbearable.
The bees are like one of the fastest ways to death warp in this, so.
Alright, here comes probably one of the scarier levels in the game for sure. Good old Who like 3.
And a mini game I haven't had to do in years.
Oh, this minigame is horrible. And it's kind of luck dependent on if the birds spawn or not.
And if you don't have enough eggs, you are boned. So
Yeah,
you
lovely
had,
eggs are really good.
yeah. You need to shoot, is it 15 birds in 10 seconds to get a slate part, which isn't
I was gonna say,
actually...
where's the 10th bird? Oh my god.
It's 10, okay, it's only 10.
Yeah. I was
10
like
and
waiting
15.
for the 10th bird. I was like, where is the 10th? Yeah, well, we're looking good there, which is good.
So that slate part, the GPS, is not actually required to beat the game. For some reason, you can just go on without it. Obviously, this is 100%, so you get it, but when we found that out, that made things so much better for any percent. Because that, legitimately, I think I got 100 times better once we figured out we didn't need to do that minigame anymore.
Yeah, so many discoveries were made, like 2016.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably still more to discover, so if you fancy yourself a glitch hunter, have we got a game for you?
Yeah, there's still more mysteries we'd like to figure out.
Like, over the years, we have definitely theorized a bunch of things and tried and just not been able to, but it's probably possible to do some of the things.
The biggest one would be getting into this room here without the scout uniform by clipping through the door, but we can never figure out how to get it to work.
We've tried a lot to be able to, like, clip into basically everywhere and who, like I know I definitely spent a while on it, and I'm sure you and a few others spent a while trying to get across the first bridge into Who Lake South without the scout costume.
Here comes one of the worst parts of the run, trying to capture the scout leader. I can do it instantly if I do a specific set of movement, but I can't. I'm not very good at it. Alright, here we go. Let's see how we go. No, of course not.
Oh, that looked close.
It's kinda. Oh, I clipped into some hitbox.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. This is what I was hoping would not happen during this run. Oh, God. There we go.
All right. Woo.
Go, Max! Aha!
So I get, like, having hidden presents, but some of these presents are just, like, these are evil game design. Like, you have to imagine some kid spent hours trying to find some of these.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. First of all, the number 3,000, I know some presents are worth more than just one, but, like, the number 3,000 is very overwhelming in terms of the amount of presents. And then, yes, it is just cruel where some of these are placed.
So when I'm flying, I'm sometimes intentionally bonking into the present. It's like kill my momentum and slow it down so I can then go the opposite way straight after. Sometimes I don't intentionally fly to break him instantly. I want to like bonk him to like land or like slow down. Oh, where am I?
This area.
Over here.
God.
Oh, no. Sorry, I was just trying to remember where I need to go.
I was gonna say this area is just very like tedious and long.
It's very difficult and unforgiving. The fact that this is at the end of the run's really brutal. It's gonna blow your run to smithereens. Gosh darn it, you did it, Green Man. Let's grab that.
Go, Max.
Alright, final thing in this area.
I just love how ridiculous. It's so baggy.
This is clearly a.
Alright, this maze is getting orange. Ready? Yeah,
That classic movie
Gone.
moment. Let's go.
Yeah.
Forgot it happened in Western Town.
Man, I really want that Howard take now. Oh my god. Some of these could have been in the movie.
Alright, I'm missing 5 presents. Oh god, I was hoping a routing issue wouldn't come up. Luckily, this is a level that's easy to find presents in, so we'll figure it out relatively quickly.
Go, Max.
So don't mind me as I try to figure out where I missed one.
It's always the risk run with a 100% category. Brutal.
Alright, I'll find it pretty quick, I reckon.
Did you get the one from the rock that you pushed down behind the truck?
That's a... Yeah, no, I definitely did. I'm pretty sure that's a blueprint anyway, it's not a gift.
Yes? Yes, you're right.
Go, Max.
I think it might be back in that room I was just in. I might have just totally blindsided myself to one. Alright, back we go. Alright. Think. Where could you be?
Oh, no more yeehaw Grinch. That's too bad. We'll have to take helicopter Grinch.
I'm honestly... Oh. I'm not sure. Maybe it's in the first part. I don't know where I would have missed in the first part. That's not usually where I forget things. It's usually somewhere around here. Or is it in Who Lake 2? Like in the water area? Oh wait, is it this?
Cherry.
Oh wait, no, I got that. In no more than 2 more minutes and I'll have it found.
Back to Yeehaw. Howdy, partner. No Grinch here.
Go, Max!
Nobody here but us scouts.
God. So curious where I've left that present. It's gonna hit me like the stupidity is gonna fly over me.
I'm just trying to think of where 5s are at this level.
What color present is 5?
It's a green and pink.
I'll keep an eye out.
I thought I saw something behind that tree. The bear?
What, did you see a present near the bear? I didn't.
I thought I saw something.
I'll go up there and check.
Maybe
I know
I'm
I
just
shot all the
wasting
kids.
time.
The kids can also drop presents as well, so there's that. Nah, there's nothing behind the bear. Oh, I'm running out of eggs. The one goal was to not scrub the route. God damn it.
Oh. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna find it.
It's somewhere. I know I shot that kid earlier.
I hope it's not underwater.
I'm gonna go check up top. If I was gonna leave it anyway, you think I would have left it somewhere up here? Nope, I didn't. Great. No, no. No, no, no. No, no. No, no. No, no, no. Not there. Not there. Not there. So I got that one. Not there, not there. Not there, not there, not there, not there. I have no idea. I feel like I've gone every... Maybe I've missed the kid? I feel like I shot all the kids.
thought you had gotten all of them, yeah. I mean, at this point, it's worth checking.
Bats, please. We don't have time.
He's good. I'm actually shocked. I don't know. Oh,
Where are you? Christmas present.
That's a
Can't we find you?
really good tie-in.
I try my best. I do thrive in the Christmas time.
All right. What I'll do for now is I'll go do Who Dump, and I'll come back and we'll go double check for this last present shortly. We'll just continue on and come back to this level. Maybe coincidentally it got deloaded. Who knows? I doubt it. Never
That
heard of that
has
before.
happened. I have run into that.
I'll continue on and I'll come back. I need to use I'm burning eggs away here when I need them for Who Dump anyways, so. Well, good thing I delayed my work shift today.
Oh yeah, geez.
Yeah. Worked an extra 45 minutes yesterday, so just in case something like this would happen.
Wow, you were smart. Way to be proactive.
4D chess.
A lot of people earlier were talking about the similarities between this and Spyro, and that enemy you beat not long ago very much reminded me of Spyro as well. So that
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Maker's World, I think. Yeah.
Oh, these eggs are dire.
Oh boy.
That's alright.
Did take a quick time loss and just head into the minefield area, pick up a bunch.
Where, sorry?
If you just head into the minefield area, just pick up like a quick
What?
pony and come back out.
Oh, I should be alright. I can make this work. Because in this next area, there's just as many eggs as the minefield area. It's just getting to the rooftop. I should be fine with 10 eggs.
That's fair.
Yeah, we're good.
So this area here, in any percent, there is a sleigh part here, and we would have done this. Technically, we do this a very different method. There is a trick you can do that will phase the box into the Grinch. You start pulling it, and then you swap gadgets while you're pulling it, and that'll phase the box into the Grinch. And we use that to clip into the area where the sleigh part is, and then we get stuck, and then we save and quit, and we load at the beginning, and that saves having to come back later and do this puzzle. This puzzle is just like moving chess pieces in a specific way, and it's not how chess pieces move. There's like a window that opens up once you do all the gas pipes that has the solutions that you're supposed to like notice, and is really actually difficult to notice. So, not saying that out of experience or anything of wandering around for hours trying to figure out what to do.
No, definitely. We didn't think that.
Go, Max! Gotcha!
In a moment of triumph,
I think I'm missing 5 here as well. Oh my god, I'm not very good at this game, am I? What's going on?
Hopefully we can find these ones a little easier.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. The only thing people miss out on if we have to do a 98% Grinch run is the bike racing minigame at the end, but we'll see how we go. See if I can find it. I'm surprised I missed 5. I felt like I did this level correctly.
Go, Max!
I definitely feel like it's in the Who Dump area. I mean the, what do you call it? The Who Dump 2 area, I should say.
Go, Max!
Yeah,
The longer area.
yeah.
And I never screw up this part. But I'm just gonna scan everything quickly.
Error.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm working off bugger all sleep, so it's caused my brain to shut off and not think routing.
Yeah, again, thank you for sacrificing your sleep and your sleep schedule for that.
Nah, you
Really do appreciate it.
That's alright. Yeah, world records are 139. My PB, believe it or not, is a 140. Subject to belief.
We believe that.
Alright. Nothing there. Nothing. I guess I'll double check this quickly.
This!
This is one of the unfortunate parts. Kind of like what you're saying earlier, conceptions. Just like, since there's not a solid way to track every present, it's just hoping you remembered.
Yeah, and make that spiral connection as well. It's not like we have a sparks that can point us in the right direction.
I wish Max would do that, but yeah.
That would be cool. Come on, Max.
And it could be a guard as well, so I have to bad ref all the guards again. And I'm pretty certain these droids as well drop 5s, so I need to reshoot those.
Ouch! Ouch!
The unfortunate part is that it's a 5 too, because if it was a 10, it would probably just be something here.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
5s are probably the hardest to find.
Go, Max!
No, it's not there.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
Yeah, this run was on pace for about a 145 before all the routing came into play.
Go, Max!
I know. Yeah, it was on a really good pace. Yeah.
We're on
That's
some
all right.
good
That's what
estimates.
happens.
Oh well.
That's what happens
Things
with these
happen.
collectathons. Yep, you're at the mercy. Like we were saying before, 3,000 over it's just that's not unreasonable. That's just so many keep track of, or
Yeah.
points of presence, whatever you want to call it.
How many? So, is there an easy way to figure out how many presents there are? game.
Yeah, like actual amount of collectibles. They all have varying values. Yeah.
The answer is there's probably not an easy way to figure that out unless somebody else has done the work for me.
Yeah. Unless somebody just did a run and counted all the presents. Yeah, it certainly does not help that these areas are huge, too.
No, certainly not.
Yeah.
Alright,
Or
so-
that the draw distance is not great.
No. Yeah, so you can't even look from far away, yeah.
Wasn't a present there, was there? No. Right. No, it was eggs that I was looking at. I've done this run so many times, I've never had so many missing presents before. It's the most I've ever had in a single run. It's usually one, not two. Yeah, jeez, okay. I'm scratching my head, man.
Let's take on.
I'm meant to be the expert here, and I have no idea.
I'm concerned they deloaded or something.
I mean, like, I've checked every pocket. Every single pocket. Pretty much scared every guard. Uh-oh. Oh no, didn't bug my game out. Might have to just go fight Santa at this rate, so I'm going way past schedule.
Yeah, especially if we have no idea that we can make this a 98% run, why not?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep the game open, and when I get home from work I'll look around, see where those last two presents were.
Like a plan to it.
Oh man. Oh, that is a head scratcher. A 5. Where could a 5 be? I just don't think it's anywhere. Like, I've checked every area. I even went to the useless areas. I'll go defeat Santa now, and I'll worry about it. I'll post it somewhere. I'll post it on Twitter, or I'll message you, and then I'll send you where the presents were in the end.
Ah, yes. So, if you want to see where they were in the end, make sure you follow Saiyans on Twitter, which I believe is L Saiyans. EL Saiyans, right?
Yeah.
So, at EL Saiyans, SAIYANs. You want to see where those mysterious presents were. Maybe someone out Grinched us.
I'm just like, I've run this category for so long now, and I feel pretty confident I know where every gift is in the game. But it's quite amazing. It's so difficult, this category, when it comes to collecting things. Even with as much experience as you can gain, one always trips you up. It happens every so often. It's so annoying.
Oh, I bet, yeah. Like I said, the fact that you know where so many of them are to begin with is a testament, because like there are just truly so many presents, way more than I hated.
There's easily at least 1,000 individual presents, so yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot.
That's just absurd.
If I ever do this again, I'll do it on better sleep.
Yes, we'll get you on a better schedule.
I was like half asleep at the first half of the run, so there's probably something happened there.
All right, now that you're past this part, you can no longer soft lock the game or crash
That's
the
good.
game. If you mash during that mid cutscene, you just
Time! Yay! Thank you for watching my 98% speedrun. Oh god, that's...
We're gonna call
I'm
it
sorry. Yeah.
99.9%.
Excellent.
That's very good. So besides the two presents, you said maybe there was like a little mini game at the end. That's the only thing that we would have not seen. So it's not like we missed a bunch.
It's a motorbike minigame. Yeah, just the Grinch racing around on a motorbike. That's sadly what we're going to miss out on.
Oh, well, that is all right. We'll have to see it another time. Maybe we'll have another chance at this come next Christmas, or even maybe not waiting for Christmas.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. Well, thank you both so much for being here. Anything else you two would like to shout out or plug or anything like that?
Main thing for me would just be the speedrun.com page. If you want to run this game, it's speedrun.com/lowercase Grinch. Don't do uppercase, that's a username. Yeah, I love this game to bits. Hundo is definitely, in my opinion, the best category this game has to offer, but if you want to get into it, I'd recommend any percent PC. I believe I have a tutorial or a guide on the SRC page, and a tutorial on how to set up the game on your computer as well. So if you want to get involved, check out our Discord. Feel free to ask questions. I'm happy to help. I'd love to see more people try this game out. It may be a good little game to try. For some people, it's only 30 minutes long, the any percent. So yeah, feel free to check it out. And yeah, of course, thank you, Con, for having me on too. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Did you have anything to add, Church?
pretty much what Sam said. It's a great game. We'd love to have you. Also, go watch Halloween is Grinch Night.
Yeah, the unexpected plug that you didn't know you needed, and you might not. I don't know. I can't attest to the quality of this film, but we will see. I'll have to check it out. Well, thank you again, both of you, so much for being here. And for those of you still watching, we still have one more game left in our Silly Seasons Greetings Awfully Silly special here. So we're going to take a small break, so feel free to make sure all of your presents are still where they expected to be. And we will see you on the other side. All right, everyone, welcome back to Awfully Silly, and we're getting geared up for our finale of the Silly Seasons Greetings episode. Before we do that, just a couple of quick reminders, of course. GDQ 2023 online prize submissions are open from now until December 30th, so go ahead and use gamesdonequick.com for some more information about those if you'd like to submit prizes for the event itself. And then additionally, if you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, feel free to throw ! Links in the Twitch chat, and that's going to get you links to all things GDQ, so feel free to check us out over there. But without further ado, it's time to get started, and for our finale tonight, we have one of the ultimate Christmas classics, of course, and it's going to be Home Alone, and it's going to be run by Retro Brando, so go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, guys, like he said, I'm Retro Brando. If you don't know me, I run a lot of movie games, whether they are good or bad. This one's questionable, but I will promise you that it's taught me one thing. Some of the worst games are some of the funnest ones to speedrun, and I've had a blast running this. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase it for you. Hold on a second. I need to... What's this highly fun movie speed game and the game developers that created it? Amen. All right. Let's go ahead and get this started. You ready for the countdown?
Yes, I'm just laughing. Macaroni and cheese dinner prayer. Let's
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So unlike this is nothing like the movie, by the way. You got to collect all the valuables. There's 4 stages. So each stage has something different to collect. So stage 1 has like jewelry and stuff like that. And it's just not the wet bandits. He brought his like 1930s gangsters friends over too. So you're going to see a lot of different enemies that do different attacks. And you have to be careful because if you leave something like on the ground too long, they can actually steal your jewelry or anything depending on the level. So each stage is a little different on how much stuff Kevin can hold in his bag. So for example, in this stage, it's only 6. So it's basically a pick up collect type game. So it's a lot of optimized lines and stuff like that. This one has quite a mix of RNG. We'll get more into that later. And one thing that I do really enjoy about this game is the squirt gun beats, and we definitely have time for this. We'll put the 20 seconds in. Listen to this. Did this on my own too. Thank you.
Can't wait to hear what that was later, but I think it was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I did get hit by that guy though because I was so distracted by it. All right, so normally you can do like a double jump here, or you can just take the hit. I usually just take the hit because I feel like it's a little bit faster, but you want to try to avoid taking any damage in this level because the basement's awful. So I got hit by that guy, so don't remember if I can find a cookie somewhere, which a cookie heals 1 bar of your health, and then the pizza heals you completely. Which I'll grab for a safe strat later for an extra guy because this game is pretty tough. All right, so that's everything. So after you pretty much drop everything in the chute, and you have to go to the safe and drop it off. Once you clear everything, you get a key to the basement. I am actually quite nervous about this because I didn't expect to get hit in this level. This is like one of the hardest basement stages, and it's all rhythm based. Nice.
Focus is on.
Yeah. Beautiful, no damage. Stage 1 is clear, yeah, because sometimes, if you notice, I had a wedge between that jump with the bat and the rat. That rhymed, cool. All right, stage 2 is the toys. The toy level, you got to collect all the toys, because Marv's going to probably try to steal all the toys. I think they did this as like a Home Alone reference, because when he's like robbing that house, he's like constantly talking about the toys.
That's true. I was wondering if this came out right when the movie did, or if they're like playing a little homage to Home Alone 2.
I think it came out like right. I think it was like one of those cash grabs where it probably came out a little bit after the movie because a bunch of you notice like there's so many ports of this game and none of them are accurate. I don't know if you've seen the AVGN episode where like Macaulay Culkin was on it. It's so good, but he's like, I didn't do any of this in the movie. He's like, what? Why am I? He's like, why am I putting like valuables and stuff in the safe? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Yeah, the music and like sometimes when I'm running it just for fun because you have the time to do it. You can just make beats as you're running around.
Who knew that Home Alone was going to be the first music rhythm game?
That's all I do when I run this. Sometimes I have to reset because I get too into the music more so than the actual run itself. But yeah, I'm currently like I ran this. It was kind of cool that you went out of your way to like message me about this because I haven't ran this in 2 years and I meant to try to get the world record. I'm like 4 seconds behind. So now that you asked me about this, I actually went back to try and grind for it.
Hey, let's go. That's awesome.
Kind of. I thought it was, and I'm like, now I remember why I took a break from this. But no, it's cool. I think I can get it. I've been doing some reroute work, so it was early on in my speedrun career, so I definitely learned a lot more. So it's been fun, because you kind of see things differently, in the run. There's another gangster throwing his Michael Jackson hat across the room.
Which would definitely hurt if you got hit with it.
And you'd probably blow up or something, like Moonwalker game. All right, so we take 2 force hits here. I did mess up a little bit just because you got to really focus on this run, but I don't mind chatting and explaining the run. But I do have to do an extra drop off here. But that's fine because I actually kind of want to show you some of the funny stuff in the run.
Hey, just slides off.
Falls into oblivion. Blah. But yeah, that was everything in stage 2. So this is the toy level. So this boss coming up, I'm assuming it's Buzz's tarantula. Because you remember in the movie when he goes down to the basement to wash his clothes, his tarantula's down there and he has to fight it with like bricks and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I think it was
that's my favorite part
I
of the
think it was
movie.
the uncut version. I can't remember. So yeah, most of this run is just like rhythm based. There are 15 people in this house, and you're the only one that has to make trouble. Well, meanwhile, you got Buzz has this huge tarantula in the basement. All right, third stage is electronics. I just collected the alarm clock that like is always unplugged, or it's just not, the power's out. God, I gotta watch this movie again. I miss it.
If I may for a second, so
Sure, man.
it makes complete sense in the first one, right? Everyone loses power in the neighborhood, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that nobody wakes up. In the second one, he just unplugs their clock to plug something else in, just the parents' clock. Why did nobody else in that house set an alarm? Nobody.
And there's so many people in that house.
There's
you know,
there's 15 or whatever. Like, what the heck?
One thing I was thinking about too is like the power was out, which is why he couldn't call the police. Oops, got hit there. Uh-oh. There we go. I hit him with a baseball. Yeah, but wasn't the power out in the first one? So how did he call the pizza place?
That's a good question.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. It's like one of the best scenes, but I'm just like, now we're all going to
Maybe
be
he sent
thinking
a
about it.
telegram.
Now I'm thinking about it. So this is just a save strat. I'm just grabbing the extra pie since it gives me an extra life. You need to get a cookie. Oh, so this is the aftershave. It makes them go faster, so it definitely comes in handy for the run. And you can just knock out enemies along the way. I actually originally thought that little gangster guy was Joe Pesci because he's short and stuff like that, right? Nah, Joe Pesci's like 6 foot in this. He's like some skinny 6 foot, like, intimidating guy with a crowbar. Oh yeah, I gotta grab
That
this
was
here.
probably in his contract. He's like, all
Yeah.
my likeness have to have me at 6 feet
Yeah.
at least.
Fritcha. All right. Yeah, we're flying through this. Still need to get that cookie somewhere. I know a cookie somewhere. But yeah, this is a fun speed game. So if you guys like speed running and you know this is your type of run, probably not. It's actually it's such a chill run, and the music's good. Okay, that's a slice of pizza. I always hated that jump. I have to reset there sometimes because sometimes he just won't get it. But I did change the route currently in here, but I'm just doing the older route. I think the new one's like a second faster, but you don't have to shoot these switches. But you do get 3 items in return. There is a cookie somewhere, and I'm gonna find it. Give me
That's
my
always-
cookie. All right, it's fine.
Listen.
I can actually take care of this. I have a plan, actually. Yeah, the ghost part's no joke, because you can most likely take 2 hits there. So what I think I'm gonna do, because it's rhythm based, is I'll go on this way to try to find my cookie, or I'll take a force death. Which that's what's currently in the new route anyways, so... Don't want to find that cookie. Alright, it's fine. But yeah, in the new route, this is actually what I do, because what happens is, this is cool to see, it spawns you at the beginning of the stairs, so you can skip some stuff. Because yeah, I'm going to need my health for this. Because if you run out of guys, you end up, 3, 4... You can see why this is kind of a pain. I mean, I like to be safe with these runs. It's no problem. I always have fun with this stuff, but I don't take it like too serious in terms. I don't give myself a hard time if I mess up on something.
That's a good mentality to have.
Yeah, I just have fun with it. I let the runs on speedrun.com speak for itself. Nah, it is fun to showcase this in different unique ways too. So that was the third stage. We're on the last stage. It's been very short and sweet so far, but yeah, this is the last stage. And currently on my channel, I am going for a world record. And I'm only a few seconds behind, so I believe I can do it. But yeah, this last stage I rerouted to a couple years ago. You got to collect all the animals and throw them in a safe, but... These McAllisters, man, they sure are weird. All right, let me go ahead and bank. So yeah, like on the first stage, you can hold 8 in his bag, and then no 6, 8, and then 10 and 10. And I think you can. There's more stuff to collect throughout the levels. Oh, here he comes. But yeah, you get quite a bit of weapons in this, but the only gun you really use is the squirt gun and the baseball, but you also get a slingshot and a BB gun.
All basically projectiles, huh?
Yeah, just a little squirt gun. Yeah, so what I've decided to do here is like what I did in the last stage. I actually mixed the old route with the new route because my health, I didn't want to risk it. So, but yeah, the other one you take a force death, which is kind of more risky. I mean, at the pace I'm at now, you can't die at all. But like, you do only have one chance to do this because there's only 3 guys, and you don't really grab the pie for it. Joe Pesci.
Hey.
Yeah, so this is the route that I take. This is actually kind of fun. Yahoo! And then you got to collect these little lizards on the wall. Uh-oh. There we go. But yeah, that part you got to do extremely fast. So now we only have, 7 more to go? Oh, the parrot room is a heavy reset because the timing of grabbing these 2 next parrots, well, the 2 after the ones I'm about to collect, so... This one coming up is no problem. This one's fine, but you have to like, I don't know. You can time it, but I just kind of feel it out. Got it. But yeah, he's off screen. You got to jump at the right time or you're going to miss him and have to reset. And then this one too. Got him. Cool. Ooh. Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. It ain't over yet because this last boss is the rat boss and he like mimics your movements and he's just completely random. He's scary. Like he's a lot of resets. So like in my PB run, I got like a near perfect fight. I think I missed him on 1 brick drop, but like the goal is just to try to get him every time. So yeah, we got 2 guys left for this. So plus the, basement obstacle you got to clear too. It's just rats, and that's what you think, and then it starts raining more rats. So it's just a timing rhythm thing. I notice if you jump right at its tail, like, whoop. Yeah, see what I mean? It can be kind of random. So now I got 2 hits with this rat, so I'm going to make the best of it. Gosh, rat scares me so much. See what I mean? He like... He's a jerk.
He doesn't play nice. Doesn't play nice at all.
Oh, shoot. Oh, okay, that was good. We're about to call time. I'll let you guys know. It's when the cutscene pops up. Ooh, that rat is dangerous. Time. GG. That was short and sweet. Fun game. Some improvising along the way, too, because you got to memorize all these little items. Even I have runs where I'm like, I'll throw that stuff. This ending's actually pretty funny.
Okay.
That's okay, Mom.
Okay, you abandoned me.
Did anything happen while we were away? Just watch the speed run. You can check speedrun.com retro brando.
You're only gone 15 minutes.
That's because the squirt gun beats. It would have been shorter.
Well, awesome. While we're enjoying these last few dialogue sequences here as the run-ins, anything you'd like to plug or shout out or let the people know?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you guys did like this run and the content, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too. You can always check out my channel. I am currently grinding for world record on this since it's Christmas time. Why not, ease the season. I might learn Home Alone 2 as well on Super Nintendo, but yeah, I run a bunch of movie games. You can always check my profile on speedrun.com, and I run a lot of underrated games, and I am a big fan of Resident Evil as well, so basically just variety. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This was a good time, and I hope you guys had a good time as well, and everybody have a good night. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again so much for being here. That was an incredible little finale right into our Awfully Silly season readings episode. So thank you so much for being here. For everyone out there, if you enjoyed Awfully Silly, we probably won't have any more episodes for the rest of this year, I don't think. So we will see you in 2023, of course. But if you do enjoy it, we are every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So come on by whenever you'd like. And we will see you whenever the next one happens, probably in January sometime. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because we have That's Never Happened Before coming on right after us. So stick around.